Yo, what's good? It's your boy B Neil and this thing, man. We back in this thing with another one's been a minute since we've been live streaming. Let's make sure everything good. Back in this thing before we get started. So look, man, y'all see the title. We here. Talk about LeBron and how great is he really? And like I said in the title, no hating, no trolling. This is real. This is gonna be the most unbiased opinion I can give or try to give. But I'll start with where I rank my top 10, and then we'll get into why I rank them, where I rank them. But we got a tier list for y'all, and we're going to get into it early. Honestly, my criteria for greatest of all times, at the end of the day, the reason you put up stats, the reason you perform great in the regular season and the postseason is for one reason. The reason you play the game is for one reason. There's only one end goal when we talk about the greatest of all time. Like if we talking about niggas that went and got the bag, or dudes that influenced the game, or dudes that may mean something to basketball or something like that, like that's a whole different a different conversation. Oh, my charger fell out. My hold on, let me fix my camera. I already see the charger fell out, so they're gonna die eventually. Hold on. Had to be geeking thinking you were So yeah, when it comes to the greatest of all times, in my eyes, you play the game to win. So when it comes down to it, yeah, you could be all-time scoring, all-time whatever. But if it's not necessarily equating to championship level basketball consistently, because we talking about the GOATs, bro. In the top 10, everybody has put up some amazing statistics. And depending on systems, depending on how they play, depending on what their teammate asks for them, the statistics could be skewed a certain way. Even depending on error. So I can't just look at the statistics and be like, hey man, that's what we should go. Or I wouldn't hold it as like let's say a percentage. I may put it like a 20% percentage of me factoring in who's to go. Maybe, because at the end of the day, all these dudes are GOATs. All these dudes can put up crazy numbers. So that to me is kind of irrelevant. What more matters to me is the talent level of being able to play championship basketball as a team player, along with being a dude that carry your team. And the reason I say that, because that's what it seems like is going to be the biggest nitpick for me with LeBron. So now that I kind of gave a little caveat, let's get into my ranking. And once again, I'm not putting Bill Russell in there. And I'm taking Kareem out just off the fact I've never watched him play. But Kareem probably should be, going off my list, he probably should be top 5. But I never watched him play. Taking him out my list as far as modern era. So Magic, Bird, they'll be in there, but outside of those eras, I'm not diving into it. So here's my list. Obviously, we starting with number 1, baby. Michael motherfucking Jordan, baby. It's no other way. 6-0 in the finals, no game 7s. Statistically, when he played, nobody was putting up the numbers he was putting up for what his system acts. So it's like, that's what I mean with LeBron. Like, yeah, he's the all-time leading scorer off of longevity. But when we talk about putting up points, nobody did it better than Jordan. So who cares about all-time points when we know LeBron ain't never averaged 35 points in a season? Like, yeah, you had the longevity, but when we talk about moments, when we talk about seasons of greatness or things like that, bro, you could look at Jordan and be like, well, LeBron never did this. Just like you could say, oh, well, Jordan leading all time. But did he really need it to be a championship contender? Not really. He didn't have to lead the NBA in scoring as far as like overall points. It wasn't needed from him. Okay, so let's get into my number 2, Kobe. All of them probably gonna go on GOATs here. These are all the GOATs. Or I guess I shouldn't say GOAT. It's GOAT. And then I guess I should do this, because there's only one greatest of all time. So After Kobe, he had 5 rings. I'm going to get into. No one else has 5. Oh, Duncan. Where's my boy Duncan? People love to kill him because he's a team basketball player. Is Duncan out on here? I could have swore before I started. Yeah, about to say, I could have swore I made sure everybody's on here. I choose Duncan. He played team basketball. Yes, he did. Maybe he didn't put up the greatest statistical numbers as far as scoring, but from what he was asked, he was clearly the star. He was clearly the superstar of their team. He was clearly a superstar in his era. And whether it was on defense or offense, he could not be stopped. He was the big fundamental, and he could not be stopped in the post. He could not be stopped in the mid-range. He was a walking bucket. If y'all talk about Jokic and how great Jokic is and how he could facilitate and do all these different things, that was Tim Duncan. He just didn't have the ball in his hand as much because they kept the ball moving and things like that, which was a big part of my argument. Is if you're able to be great inside of a system, that's going to lead to you being a better champion than a dude that's playing ISO ball and having dudes stand in the corner and maybe pulling out a championship here and there. And I think that's where LeBron falls at. Because let's be real. LeBron will have more championships if he was able to play off the ball more. LeBron will have more championships if he was setting picks and rolls. LeBron will have more championships. Why? Because his teammates will have more confidence with the ball. He'll have other dudes that grew their confidence throughout the season, holding on to the ball, holding on to the rock, making plays. Then when it comes down to the nitty-gritty in the finals and things like that, he going to have those people that's ready to step up. Prime example, the Warriors. Sean Livingston was washed. Iguodala was on his last leg. They had these niggas looking like fucking stars, especially Zealy. Like, these niggas was dudes that was fucking scrubs in the league. These niggas had to play in great positions because they had a team and a system that had everybody involved, everybody moving, everybody doing something. Versus LeBron is kind of just stand in the corner and play his game. And if he has enough talent as far as shooters on the outside, dudes that's gonna be willing to play that role, yeah, he can win some championships because of that. But that only goes so far, because then when he plays other teams that are great, their philosophy gonna outsmart them. Their philosophy gonna outbeat them, and that's why these other teams gonna end up with having more these other players gonna end up having more championships when it's all said and done, because of the system LeBron played in and the player that he was. And shout out to him being great, because we see other ISO dudes can't even get that far. But that also goes to LeBron cachet and him being able to dictate whatever he want and make a team make a move without him calling him hard to work with a disgruntled. Like, let's be real. If Harden had the luxury to request trades and have pieces move whenever he wanted to, he might have a championship. If Luka had the ability to have trades and have the whole team re-changed in the All-Star break to make a run for him, and I know they did the Kyrie shit, but I'm saying how LeBron made some huge moves, bro. Kyrie was a good move, though. I can't lie to you. Luka kind of fumbled the bag with Kyrie. They were supposed to do something, but they also didn't have any other good trades as well, which that's a part of it. It's a part of it, but I would say if these other dudes had the same clout of being able to make certain moves and request it from an organization, and the organization just says whatever, it'd be a different story. But for the most part, yeah, that ISO shit, it only goes so far. And like I said, salute to LeBron, but even with his rings, I still put a little cachet on him. And we're going to get to it when we put LeBron up here. So that's my top 3. And like I said, it's 6, 5, and 5, bro. He had a 3-peat and a 2-peat, right? He had 2 3-peats. Tim Duncan, let's look at his stats or career. Let me see. Championships is one. He won his championship. He literally won a championship his first year there. Like, it says 98. I could have swore he won a championship his first year there. Maybe it was the second year. It said 9 games played. Oh, this is the playoffs. Okay, my bad. So yeah, regardless of the fact, they wasn't a playoff team. Tim Duncan was the number 1 pick. They wasn't a playoff team. 1998, he get drafted. He scores 20 points in 9, like 20 and 9, and we talk about in that era, that's fucking dominant. Niggas not even doing 20 and 9 in this scoring ass era. So when we talk about some of these power forwards that's in the league right now, what does DeAndre Ayton score? Does he get that? Maybe, but I don't know. 20 and 9. Next year they win a championship with him, dropping 23-11. So let me see. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They won 4 out of 8 years in the championship, and then came down and got another one. So they didn't win any back-to-back, but the dominance was there throughout. He only dropped 16 in this one, which is tough to look at as far as saying, hey, he dropped 16 in a championship game, but you got to understand what was asked for him. Especially in that, I mean, he was damn near out the league at that point as far as his, he was only, he played how many more games? I mean, more playoff seasons. 2 more after that. I mean, he was pretty much done after this one, but 16-9, he did what was asked for him. He performed in the system. I'm sure he could have dropped more points, but the system didn't need him to do that. Why? Because they had Kawhi, they still had Tony, they still had Ginobili. I think they had got Patty Mills at that time. Let's see what their roster looked like. Oh, let's say Western. Okay. Can they give me 2,000? Yep. Okay. So let's look at the team roster. Boys, D.I. was there. Danny Green. So they had more shooting on the field. I mean, on the court. So I'm sure he didn't have to score as much. But let's see. What's this? Preseason? Oh, regular season. Number 1 in the. Number 1 team in the regular season, and he was on the late end of his career. Yeah, that was a great team, but I look at it like Tom Brady, like, bro, he's the greatest player on that team. Everything functions and runs around him, even though there is a system still. Most of the time the ball is going through Tim, either through just giving it to him in a triangle set, him getting rebounds and kicking it, him kicking extra passes once they get dumped down in the paint. They try to double team. He kick it again, that last kick, because, you know, Spurs was known for making that last pass, making that extra pass that kill you. Like, he could take the shot here on the double team, or he could kick it and pass it to a man that's wide ass open. And that was Spurs basketball. And that's why I'm like, when it comes to statistics, that don't matter in championship basketball. Because what may be asked from you or your team could be different. You're not going to be scoring 35 points a game when your team asks you to make the extra pass. That's just not reasonable. So to act like, hey, Tim should be dropping 28 points a game, 35 points a game to be considered better than LeBron. That's not what his team asked of him. And let's be real. If LeBron maybe averaged 35, he may have been a better player because, like, let's go to be more of a scorer. Or if he take a step back, or let's say this. LeBron may have gotten easier baskets when he was off the ball. LeBron may have got easier baskets to score 35, 45 points along with his team getting the confidence as far as being playmakers because they can handle the ball more. Or it could have resulted in him not scoring as much because maybe he's not as comfortable with that, but his team may needed that. And if he was willing to make that sacrifice for the better of his team and that resulted in championship basketball, I would have saluted that. Because at the end of the day, the stats don't matter. Now when we talk about these dudes being this great, in my eyes. But going to number 4, this is where it's going to get tricky because most people are like, well, you got to put LeBron right here at least. I don't see that. I'm putting Shaq. Shaq got a 3-peat, and Shaq got another ring with Wade when nobody expected him to get another ring once he left Los Angeles. 4 versus 4, right? LeBron got 4. Shaq got 4. Now, in my eyes, who 4 matters more? Who 4 was more impactful or harder? Let's not say impactful. Let's say harder. We ain't talking about music. Who 4 was more difficult to achieve? Or who 4 should I respect more? I don't respect this ring from LeBron, no matter how you slice it. There should be an asterisk next to this ring, no matter how you slice it. And he ring chased for these 2. This is the only respectable ring. So in my eyes, LeBron got like 2.5 rings, like as far as I respect. It's like I respect him winning rings on the Heat, but come on, bro. You went with 2 of the dudes that was in your draft class, along with all of the minimum players wanting to come sign with y'all, all like the decent role players and shit wanting to come sign with y'all because y'all they knew y'all was in a championship mode and y'all had the pieces to do it or the stars to do it. So how much do I respect that? I'm not completely dismissing it and being like, oh, this nigga only got 1 ring, but let's look at these Lakers. Let's look at these Lakers teams, bro. Can we go to let's go to the individual years. 2000. Who did they play? Was this the Pacers? So people question this series because basically he got Reggie Miller on his end legs, but end of the day, it's an organic team. It's Kobe and Shaq. A lot of people were sleeping on Kobe before this ring came, right? Because this is the first ring. A lot of people were sleeping on Kobe, didn't even think he had what it took. Kobe proved him wrong. Shaq got his first ring after losing and getting swept by the Rockets. So it wasn't just like, hey, this duo is like guaranteed to be great. Like there were some questions. Like I said, Kobe was slept on, and Shaq wasn't just like, hey, yeah, he was dominant, but it wasn't shown to translate to championships yet. So boom, they come out game 1 storming, game 2 storming, whatever. That don't really matter. Let's look up statistics and the roster that they had around them. I look at this roster. Robert Horry's an all-time role player, but he dropped how many points this game? I thought I said 5. I was about to say, boy, that's ass. 10-9 from they say Ron Harper and Robert Horry. They both pretty much dropped 10 a game. Glenn Rice dropped 10 a game. That's pretty good. Ain't gonna lie, that's decent for role players, especially back in this era. And Kobe only dropped 15. So you really got to give it to Shaq on this one as far as when we talk about Shaq championships. Like when we get in Kobe got 5. Maybe you could look at him maybe having 4 if you say how bad this is, but I ain't gonna say how bad it is. Him dropping 15. Yeah, this was a bad performance. 36%, 200 from the field. 3-point. It was bad. But regardless of the fact he got it done. He got it done. But like I said, we here for Shaq on this argument right now. Shaq dropped 38 points a game for his first championship. 38 and 16 and 2. That's a huge championship. That's a huge championship as far as us respecting that from Shaq. All right, let me move to what was the next year? Well, it was back-to-back years, right? And just off of him winning 3 championships back-to-back, and let's be real, Glenn Rice was good. What's the name was good, but it wasn't like they just had this stacked team full of superstars. It was Shaq and honestly role players. Because even then, Kobe, it's hard to say Kobe was a role player because of gravity and all that shit that people gonna use. Because even with Kobe dropping 15 points a game, you still gotta respect Kobe. So outside of Kobe being underperforming, he basically won a championship with a bunch of role players. At least the finals. Like I'm sure Kobe stepped up in the the conference finals and before that and stuff like that. But let's be real. This man won 3 championships in a row, and the first one it was with a bunch of role players essentially. Gotta respect it. Next against Philly, which once again this is a tough one because they're like, how much do we respect this? People say this about them. How much do we respect them? So just like how they get the critiques, I'm gonna do the same with everybody. They like, y'all supposed to beat them. Who did they have? Rajah Bell, Speedy Claxton, AI, Jermaine Jones, Dikembe, Eric Snow. Yeah, the team wasn't that deep for sure. But let's look at them. Let's look at them. They got Kobe. Where's Shaq at? Oh, there you go. Shaq, Derek, Rick Foxstill. Let's look at the statistics. Kobe average went up to 24, 5 and 7. Shaq dropped 33 and 15. Once again, 33 and 15. That's like a nigga dropping 40 in this era. If I'm being, it's like a nigga dropping 40 and 20 in this era, how wide open it is. And once again, Derek Fisher dropped 9, 10 points a game. Rick Fox dropped 10 points a game. Robert Horry dropped 8. But it's role players. It's two good dudes and a role player. Like, yeah, AI was by himself. AI dropped 35 points a game. Dikembe had 17. Eric Snow had 12. And then Aaron McKee had 8. So, yeah, the depth wasn't there, but it wasn't just like the Lakers had this just like all-star field lineup like we used to seeing these days, where it was fucking LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen. Like, come on, bro, at one point. Or we go to the Kevin Durant's Warriors. Like, come on, bro. Like, Clay, Iggy. Was Iggy still on that team? Like, come on, bro. Like, the teams was just stupid. And that's just not this. It's like, yeah, it's Shaq and Kobe, but outside of that, it's certified role players that's playing, that know their position and playing good system basketball. But a part of these role players having good systems and stepping up when they need to is these players playing inside of the system and getting their numbers inside of the system, which back in the day was a triangle offense, which led to Derek Fisher getting those open shots, which led to Robert Horry getting them open shots in a more organic way where it felt natural to the game of basketball versus, hey, when LeBron, y'all go sit in the corner. You go sit in the corner, Kevin Love. Chris Bosh, just go sit out there. Even though we could be utilizing you a whole lot better, just go sit out there and just be a glorified 3-point shooter. And how that doesn't translate to championship basketball, and how when you gonna need Kevin Love to step up, he gonna be used to sitting in the corner all year. It's gonna feel different to try to dribble and make a play and make a pass, or put him in a triangle offensive set. It's gonna feel different. Y'all ain't did that all season. Now you need him. Hey, let's dump it down to Kevin Love and see what he can do. And then if he don't do nothing, we can blame it on him. Like, nah, that ain't championship basketball. That's not how you build up to championship basketball. Like, Kevin Love on the Cleveland could have been like Paul Gasol if LeBron would have just came off the rock 20 or 30 more %. If he would have willing to play a little triangle offense, but that's not LeBron. And that's a big reason why I feel like he's going to be where he at the end of the day. So now we're going to move to, let me see, 2002. Game summary. They beat the Nets. And this Nets team was a good team. Kobe went up again, 26-5-5. Shaq 36-12. God damn. Bro, he dropped 30. He averaged 35 points a game in his finals three-peat, bro. Like, I respect LeBron, but I don't think the numbers was looking like that. I know it looked like that versus the Cavs and the Warriors on that 3-1 comeback, but we talking about championships, and we talking about why niggas come to do what they do. Bro, Shaq showed up. Shaq showed up and showed the fuck out. Oh, let's look at the other team. So they had a great point guard in Jason Kidd, which could stick with Derek Fisher any day of the week. Kenyon Martin dropping 22 points a game. Kerry Kittles dropping 12 points a game. Keith Van Horn dropping 10 points a game. Like, this was a decent team to play against. Richard Jefferson was a good wing to play defense and maybe put a little points up, but he didn't do much. 7 points a game. 7 and 4, which is not great. It's not great, but Keith Van Horn, I said, dropped 10. So you had two dudes dropping 20, and then you had another dudes over 10, and two dudes at 7. Like, that's not a bad team. It was a great team. It was great coach. You had a great point guard. He was almost averaging a triple-double damn near, 29-7 in the finals. Like, come on. That was a great team to play against. Them wasn't no scrubs. So I got to respect that ring. Like, I really can't disrespect any of their rings based on who they play, honestly. Like, yeah, they may not have had the second star, but you don't need 2 stars to win a championship if you have a good system. So if you could beat a good team, I'm respecting that, bro. I'm sorry. Let's see. And then obviously this is the one that probably had the least amount of respect on his name. But Dallas was up 2. Miami came and took the series away. That was a crazy series. I remember that shit. D-Wade. I mean, this was really D-Wade, all D-Wade, but Shaq dropped 13 and 10. 34. That's 8 damn near. Then you had Antoine Walker dropping 14. Jason Williams dropping 9. And this team wasn't that deep, but D-Wade put the team on his back. Now, this is the embodiment of this nigga carried. This nigga carried. God damn. Then you got Dirk. Dirk should have had 2 rings, bro. I don't know what happened. They fumbled this bag. Dirk with 22. He should have probably tried to have a little more. But that's the thing. He was playing offensive. He was playing within his system. And it didn't really – he could have probably tried to stretch that to 30 points a game, but then the team play might not have been as good, possibly. But I don't know. They should have definitely won more than one ship, though. Jason Terry, Stackhouse, Dirk, Josh Howard, Devin Harris. I say right here, this is the reason they ain't win a championship. I ain't gonna lie to you. Where's the Jason Terry? They best 2-guard, but point guard position was missing some consistency. I'm guaranteeing it. But I mean the fourth one is not that to be respected. But let's see. Let me see something. 2006 Shaq stats. Let's see how he performed all season. Maybe he just didn't perform great in the playoffs. Oh, he averaged 20 and 9 the whole season. Let's look at the playoff stats. He averaged 18 in the playoffs. He just didn't do great in the finals, which, okay, whatever. They still won. So, I mean, he was a big piece of why they went to the championship, why they got there. And by that time, he probably was gassed being, Shaq age and size. He probably was gassed by that time in his career getting to the finals. And he did enough for D-Wade to carry. So, you got to respect it to a degree. But after that, we getting to, like I said, we're getting sticky. Most people wouldn't put Shaq over LeBron, but at the end of the day, they both tied, and one has a 3-peat on their championship and one doesn't. And of course, like Shaq not gonna be leading all-time scoring and things like that, because I mean, it's just he wasn't built for longevity. Shaq not gonna go to 10. Shaq not gonna go to 10 straight championships because he not built for that type of shit. His body would have fucking fell apart. His body would have fell off the bone if Shaq would have went to 10 straight championships, right? So it just, you can't even expect that out of his career and out of his position and just in general. So yeah, LeBron, he got that longevity thing, like, oh, he went to 10 straight finals, but why do you go to finals? To fucking win. So they both got 4. Yeah, LeBron may have went to more, but who cares? Who cares, bro? No one goes to the playoffs to be like, hey, I went to the playoffs. No one goes to the Western Conference Finals just to be like, hey, we made it to the Western Conference Finals. Yeah, we lost, but it's a moral victory. Y'all giving LeBron moral victory, and we talking about the GOAT conversation. You got to get out of here with that. Let me see, man. I didn't even think to see if somebody was commenting. So after that, where would I go? Where's my ring list? I miss Magic. Magic got 5. I miss Magic. I thought Magic had 4 rings. Magic got 5 rings. What are we talking about? I thought Magic had 4. Magic got 5 rings. Magic better than Tim. When it comes to playing inside of a system and also being that dude, like, only reason I might put Tim over is because of Tim didn't have as good as co-stars. Magic played with some dudes. And I know I'm just looking at finals numbers. Like I said, regular season numbers, we know they did good. They did what they were supposed to do. Like, they're in the GOAT discussion. Like, we're not about to look at statistics, but we're going to look at what really matters. When these dudes step up when they need to step up. Will they step up, or did they step up when they need to step up? So his first ring, Kareem had 33 and 13, while he had 21 and 20. 21 and 11. That would have been crazy. Jamal Wilkes averaged 21 and 7. Norm Knicks had 15. God damn. Michael Cooper 8. Sheesh. Who did they play though? Oh, they played a great team. They wasn't playing no fucking slouches besides that they didn't have a 30-point scorer, but shit, they still had 25, 20, 14, 12, 11, 9. Like, sheesh, this looked better than what Kobe and Shaq was working with. Kobe and Shaq didn't have a third wheel that could do that, or a fourth wheel that could do that. Jesus, that was a fucking squad. Let's see. Game summary, series summary. They played Philly, which we know this team was stacked. We could just look at the statistics. Where's the statistics? Where's the statistics? Oh, that's weird. We'll just look at the top. Julius was dropping 24 and 14 in the game. Norm Nixon had 29. I need to get these statistics, bro. Player statistics. It was right in my face. So this one, Magic kind of fell off. 16 and 10. But this is what I mean. They won this championship. So he'll drop 20 if he need to, but then he'll come off the rock if the team need to. Because look how many scores you got on your team. You could drop 35 here and isolate some of your players and make some dudes mad. Even Kareem, like, I know this was late in Kareem's career. Kareem could have dropped 30 or 40 points, but that's not what the championship basketball required of him. And I feel the same with LeBron. It's like, yeah, LeBron, you averaged 37 and 5 in the playoffs, but you also held the ball 80% of the time. Maybe if you come off the ball 30%, 20%, your other players can get more confident in scoring and playmaking. Like I said, the Warriors. Like I said with the Spurs. You got dudes like Boys Diaw making plays in the finals. You got boys like, who else used to make? Patty Mills making plays in the finals. And they're not considered like great dudes. Robert Horry making plays in the playoffs. And these dudes not considered like world beaters. But the fact that they got confidence and a system, and they know what the system asks for them, and they've been able to practice that and grow confidence throughout the regular season means shit, bro. When it comes down to the end of the year, when it comes down to who's gonna make it out of the finals, that be mattering. Who role players got the most confidence? Who role players can step up on the road? If your dudes used to sitting in the corner most of the season, they're not gonna be ready to play on the road. They're not gonna be ready to play in the clutch. And that contributes to why LeBron went 10 times and only won 4. Let's be real. He got 16 and 10. Michael Cooper, 13. Norm Knicks, 17. Jamal Wilkes, 19. King, 18. Then they still got Bob. I ain't gonna lie, I might put Tim over him. Bro, these teams are fucking ridiculous. And Bob was off the bench. Bob came off the bench. Michael Cooper came off the bench. God damn, bro. So this is Daryl Dawkins. I remember him. Maurice Cheeks. Bobby Jones. Like, these teams had some ballers, though. When you talk about dudes scoring 10 plus, the 2000s wasn't hooping like this. Not them Shaq squads. He did not have that type of help. So you got to even give it to, like, some of Shaq. I might give it to Shaq over Magic. When I'm looking at these rings, I might give it to Shaq over Magic just because, bro, look what Magic had to work with. And it's no knock to him because at the end of the day, championship basketball, the big part of it is being able to play your role. And the Magic could have had an ego. Magic could have had, I'm going to carry the team on my back, or I'm going to show these dudes I'm the best on the team, my mentality. But Magic made it work. Magic played the point guard role perfectly, and he did what he had to do. So honestly, I can't, because if he needed to drop 30, he would have dropped 30. If he needed to drop 16, he would drop 16, because he is the definition of a point guard, doing what the team needs of him and leading that. So it's hard to make that argument to like take it away from him because of what he had to play with. But at the same odds, we've seen dudes struggle. LeBron struggled playing with D-Wade his first year. And it didn't really show in the regular season, but when it came down to the nitty-gritty, it showed. LeBron struggled against that Mavs team because he didn't know how to play off the ball. And the Heat would have kept struggling if D-Wade didn't take a step back. And when I say take a step back, it's like a real step back. It's like you only gonna play off the ball. Like LeBron is just like, if the ball ain't in his hand, he the crybaby that want to go home almost. Like he's just not gonna play as good as you need him to win a championship. Versus D Wade off the ball, he still can play championship level basketball. It's like if LeBron don't have the ball in his hand, ball dominant, there's no way y'all winning championships. As far as what he's shown to play. I don't know if he could adjust and adapt. We ain't never seen it, but it's almost how it comes across throughout his career now. Okay, so let's look at this one. Once again, 18 and 14, fucking amazing. Almost dropped the triple double. 18, 14, and 7. Kareem back to 25. Like I said, Kareem could have dropped more if he wanted to. He just was chilling. 25 and 9. James Worthy, now they got James Worthy dropping 23 buckets a game. Brian Scott, Kurt Rambis dropping 8 points a game. Bob was still there dropping 10. Michael Cooper, yeah, these dudes was the truth. This is when they were playing against Kevin, Robert Parrish, Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson. Like these teams were stacked. These were some super teams. So it wasn't like, and that's also the thing too. It wasn't like it was. Magic's team is undoubtedly the only team that's stacked and everybody else's team is not. Like when I'm going to these other teams, these niggas got multiple 20-point scorers too. They're just not like Magic. They just not like Kareem, man. That's when you got to start giving salutes off. That's when you got to start giving hats off to them dudes. Like y'all got dudes over there, but y'all dudes ain't like our dudes. So when Magic needs to start scoring more, he starts scoring more. 26, 13, and 8. Oh my God. Godly numbers. James Worthy still dropping 20. Kareem still dropping 20. Went back up against Larry, dropping 24. Dennis dropped 21. Kevin dropped 20. Robert dropped 16. Danny dropped 12. Like, you got to give it to Magic, bro. He wasn't playing no fucking scrubs. At any given moment, he could have fell to the pressure. At any given moment, he could have been like, you know what? Maybe I don't have what it takes, and start doubting himself against these great teams. Like, nah, he stepped up. He stayed Magic. He stayed Magic. Even in the pressure moments. Because these wasn't no just, oh yeah, you about to go in and win. Undoubtedly. James Worthy, 22. Squads, bro. Who did they play? This one they played the Pistons. And we know who the Pistons had. Isaiah. Adrian Dantley had 21. Joe Dumars dropped 13, which he was a dog. He probably just got shut down, possibly. Vinny Johnson dropped 11. Bill dropped 10. You still had Dennis being a havoc, dropping 8 points a game. Like, yeah, I got to give it to Magic. It's going to be hard for me to put Shaq over Magic because that's my thing, like I said earlier with the statistics. The Lakers needed Shaq to drop 35 points a game. The Lakers, where Magic needed him to average a sweet triple-double almost. You ain't got to drop 35, but if you could drop 20, give us some rebounds, some clutch rebounds, kick it up the floor, get some clutch assists, we good, Magic. That's our formula to win championship basketball. With Kobe and Shaq, it's the triangle. Kobe, you handle it with Derek Fisher in the backcourt. And we're going to kick it to Shaq. If they double team, y'all be ready to make moves. Y'all be ready to make plays. Y'all be ready to roll off of them. Back cuts and all that shit. And that's what worked for them. And Shaq just had to dominate, demand a double team. If they don't double team him, go to work. And that's why he dropped 35 points a game. So I can't be biased because I love scoring and be like, well, fuck, bro. Shaq was dropping 35 and 16. At the end of the day, he did what his team asked for him consistently enough to win 3 championships. Magic did it enough to win 5. And when I say 3, because he had one of those 3 dominating championships. Now let's look at him. He did not win any consecutive championships. My only argument for Shaq right now is Shaq won 3 in a row. Does that do we give those 3 in a row more respect than a spaced out 5, or he got 2 back to back, and then he got another 3 out of 5? So that's them good years. You get 2 back to backs, and then you win 3 out of 5 championships. And you was going against the Celtics when you lost. It's hard. It's hard to make that argument. Like, I would say, hey, bro, for a fact, Shaq's 3-peat is more than LeBron's. But I don't know if I could do that with the Lakers and Magic. I don't think I can make that 3-peat worth more than 5. And when I say 3-peat, I'm adding his 4th in there too. But we like the 3-peat, how much we respect that, then add whatever the one with the Heat. But I don't think that 3-peat is enough to boost him over. Yeah, it'd be hard. So now I'm looking. I want to kind of look at Tim Duncan shit real quick. I want to kind of look at Tim. I just want to look at Tim Duncan, like his how did I get to the finals? Like how I was just looking at. I don't know how I did that. That shit was clutch. Let's look up Tim Duncan. Because I'm trying to see, should I put Shaq over Duncan? That's what it is with a nigga like me. Oh, I know what I was on. I remember what I was on. Spurs championships. Because I was looking at the statistics and everything. Oh, let's see. Now I really remember how I got there. Okay, Tim Duncan. Let's look at 2003. I just want to see what his team was hooping like. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even have a dude over 15. People really like, oh yeah, he's on a great team. And you got to, only reason he got that many because he was on a great team. Yeah, it was a great team, but it was no other co-stars. This nigga did what Elijah One did in 2000, whatever year, 2003. He did what Elijah One did. It wasn't no superstars on the team with him. He was by himself with role players. That year, let me look at 1999 now. Tim Duncan, 27. David Robinson dropped 16. Salute. But come on, bro. 27 and 14? We just looked at the Magic teams and how them boys was hooping. Bro, he hooping with role players. Yeah, it was the Twin Towers. I give him that. But come on, bro. Avery Johnson dropping 9 and 7, which is not bad. 9 and 7 is not bad. He playing the point guard role back in the day. But your next highest score is 8? Oh, I missed 11. Right here. Mario Eli dropped 11. Who did they play against? The Knicks? Damn, this must have been the Knicks when they fell off. Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, obviously they didn't fall off, but they didn't have, I forget the center name, Sparks and stuff like that. This was like the next era. Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, Marcus Camby. It's a cool squad, but it's a cool squad. I ain't gonna lie, it's a cool squad. They were matched up evenly as far as this team had 2 20-point score games. They just didn't have too much else. So when we talk about matchups, he dominated and won. I mean, let me go look at the 2005. We already know how 2014 looked. Our statistics, player statistics. Okay, so this is where it looks more real. Like, oh, look at. But even then, it's like he came off of scoring as many points because more people stepped up. He dropped 20 and 14, which is dominant. Ginobili was starting these games, so never mind. Ginobili dropped 18. Tony dropped 14. But he went against another team that had a bunch of good dudes as well and got a dub. So you can't be like, oh, he got team basketball. It's like, nah, you're gonna have to be a dog to win these games. Because they got good team basketball on this side too. It's crazy they numbers look almost the exact same. They got 20 and a 16, they got a 20 and 18. Honestly, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes with 10 points. Yeah, that's more consistent than the Spurs. So Tim Duncan was putting the team on his back when you talk about having a win. These wasn't no scrubs. You got to respect that championship versus the Pistons. Them Pistons was the truth. So yeah, it's hard to move Tim Duncan either. Like, he wasn't playing no scrubs. And he didn't have just a crazy team around him. Okay, 2007, Tony Parker finally stepped up as far as like that all-star, superstar potential in the finals. Ginobili stayed where he was, off the bench as well. Oh, they swept. Oh, this is when they swept LeBron. This is when they swept LeBron. Drew Gooden, Daniel Gibson. That's crazy. Booby actually started 2 games. That's crazy. This is what killed them. Tim Duncan. That's what bro, at some point, we got to acknowledge, like, LeBron getting swept. Like, yeah, it wasn't necessarily LeBron's fault, but, bro, you got to give it to Tim Duncan. He locked up these niggas. You're not going into the paint, LeBron, and just getting what you want. You're not going to have a bunch of numbers because I'm pretty sure that was off his average high. Let's look up LeBron average in 2004, right? Or 2007 LeBron. LeBron 2007 stats. 30 points a game, 7 and 7. You're not about to drop 30. You're not about to drop 30 on us because you're not coming in the paint as consistent as you want to. That's Tim Duncan right there. 22 points a game. That's a big part of Tim Duncan because he wasn't no shooter back in the day. So it was pretty much getting to the paint. Obviously, Popovich defense and drawing it up. Ilgauskas was dropping 17, 18 points a game in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look that up. And you know who locked that ass up? Give me 2007 basketball reference. 7. Oh, he only dropped 11 points a game. He never dropped 18. 17 is the highest. Okay. Is this regular season? Yeah. So I guess I thought he averaged a little more than that. Drew Gooden had 12. Daniel had, yeah, I mean, he really was a solo act on this, so I ain't gonna lie. Oh, what the fuck, Larry Hughes? I gotta see what the fuck going on with this team. Because Larry was supposed to be that guy. Was Larry one of the first players that went to play with LeBron that couldn't figure it out? Because he was supposed to be a dog before. God damn, 14 points a game, boy. Playoff series. Why is it not popping up? Okay, so 2007. Larry Hughes was capable. He had 19 some games, he had 13 some games. I'm trying to see the statistics though. I don't want I want the overall statistics. Why are y'all making it so difficult? Oh, I found it last second. All right, so 2007, he dropped 11 points per game. In the regular season, he dropped 14 points a game. I think this may be an example. I could be wrong. If LeBron come off the ball more, Larry Hughes is more confident. Larry Hughes plays better in the regular season and playoffs, and he don't average 2 points per game in the finals. This is the shit I'm talking about. 1 point per game in the finals. He had to be hurt, bro. Now he averaged 21 points a minute. Only played 2 games though. But if he only played 2 games, averaging 1 point off 21 minutes, he might have got hurt. But it's giving me they bench that nigga. But Virgil, Eric Snow, I feel like Danielle Marshall, like he was a 3-point shooter. I feel like these dudes, Drew Gooden maybe could have had 15 or more. Daniel Gibson could have maybe been more confident as a playmaker because he only had 2 assists. Like, look at the assist on his team. 2 assists, 0. Like, and I think that's a big part of LeBron ball handling and being ball dominant even in his young age. Because if he would have came off the ball more in the regular season, just a little bit more, and played off the ball, maybe he still dropped 30 points a game, but these dudes have more confidence to play make and make plays in the finals if you give it that in the regular season. So let's move on. We got out Tim, we got out Shaq. I'm going to leave Tim over Shaq. After that, where's Larry? Where's Larry on this list? I believe he got 4 or 5. Larry got 5 too, right? How many Larry got? Larry only got 3? Larry only got 3 rings. Okay. So this is where I get into the question: is Larry 3 rings worth more than LeBron 3 rings? So I could literally stop here and put LeBron here. So this is where. Oh, my bad. Let me stop. So now that I know he got more, this is where I would possibly put LeBron right here. Arguably right here where Steph at as well. But this is where it gets arguable to me. So this is top 5 legit. I couldn't see LeBron being in my top 5 unless he got another ring. If he get a ring this year, he'll have 5 rings, and I would respect this ring. And then honestly, if he get a ring this year, I would respect the bubble ring. Because it would show to me it wasn't fluky. But if they don't do shit else after they got that bubble ring, how you go from championship to not even a real playoff contender? That bubble ring just feels so fluky, especially after the time has passed, and they haven't been anything like that since. It's giving had a lot of time off the rest, didn't have a real regular season. If they did have a regular season, it probably wouldn't have went how it went in the bubble. If I'm being honest, so. If LeBron does get a ring this year or next year, it would probably make me respect the bubble ring a lot more. So obviously, if he get another ring, he cracking the top 5 probably. I would have to put him over Shaq. Even though looking at Shaq at 35-14, damn near 35-14. We're gonna look at LeBron's season final stats, but 35-14, 3 championships straight, and another one after. LeBron, he ring chased for 2 of them. He came back 3-1, which you got to respect, even though it may have been some bullshit there. 3-1. Yeah, I don't give a fuck how much bullshit there. You're not supposed to lose 3-1, I ain't gonna lie. 3-1. I respect that. I don't, yeah. Nah, I probably have Shaq still over him slightly. I probably have Shaq over him slightly. Just because that 3-peat plus how dominant he was is just icing on the cake. All right. So then you got Steph. And I'll put Bird right here or Steph. I really don't know. I think I'll put Steph over Bird right now just because he got 4, but I don't really respect his 4 either. Well, let me look at Larry Bird. Beat the Rockets in 91. They had Moses, which I don't know if this was MVP Moses Malone, but he was the truth then. Billy Potts, Mike Dunleavy. Mike Dunleavy was a beast. Robert Reed, I don't remember him. It's a decent team. Calvin Murphy off the bench. This a decent team. Rudy, I feel like that Rudy been a coach before, but I don't know. It really don't matter. He ain't drop shit. So let's look at their stats. Wow. When did Bird come into the league? 1981. $79 and $80. So this is his third year in the league, basically, or second or third year in the league. He only dropped 17 points. What was it? Where was he at? 15 points a game. Oh, but he was 15 and 15. My God. Hey, this is the example. Maybe if he dropped 30 points a game this series, he looks like the fucking star, but they may lose. He look like a fucking stud, but they may lose. Or he could drop 15 and 15, play his role, get his assist, get his steal, play defense, and just play good team basketball. But we know he was one of the primary forces of being why this team was great. Probably the main one. Like, you got Cedric Maxwell here with the buckets. He get the buckets. He definitely get the buckets. But he also had the most assists on the team as a power forward. I mean, a small forward. So it's just like he had a different role. And it looks like he was clearly their best player. 15, 15, and 7. Just looking at those numbers, he looks like the best player. 500% from the three, 41% from the field is not great, but 500% from the three. I don't know how many he pulled, but it's a pretty good number. So the first championship, it wasn't crazy statistics, but he did what he had to do to beat a decent team. It wasn't a world beater, but I can respect that. I can respect 15 and 7. Those were crazy numbers, honestly. 15 rebounds as a small forward is crazy. And you still getting buckets, and you still getting assists. Yeah, that's the truth. This one he beat, bro. He beat one of the best teams of all times. He literally beat one of the best teams of all times. James Worthy dropping 20, Magic dropping 20, Kareem dropping 20. That's tough. And he came with 24, 5, and 10. Like, he had other dudes. He had some good teams too, though. Dennis dropped 20, Kevin dropped 20, Robert dropped 16, Danny dropped 12. He definitely had a squad. But looking at this so far, I'm probably putting Curry. Cause the thing about this team is like he didn't ring chase, but they had a deep squad. So it's like, I respect the rings, but I can't really take away from Curry because he can't play with KD when you niggas was playing with all-time legends and all-time greats as well. When it comes to where y'all kind of rank at, that's not really an argument with Tim Duncan. That's not really an argument with Shaq. That's not really an argument with Kobe and Jordan. It's on that argument of playing with like crazy teams. You don't really get to that argument till you get outside of my top 5, and that's when you get to the Currys, LeBrons, the Magics, and Birds, because it's like you can judge them off their individual greatness and see that, hey, their greatness definitely transition to winning championships for sure, but it's like how much when they have a great team. And then that's when you go into ego, mindset, stuff like that, philosophy of the team and things like that. So it can kind of get skewed, but they weren't playing no chumps either, so you got to respect it. This was Elijah One. Elijah One could have had 3 of them boys. He played a good team. You ain't had no other 20-point scorers. And in this era, you seen Magic had 20-point scorers. You seen Bird had multiple 20-point scorers. You seen the Sixers had multiple 20-point scorers. And Elijah One was getting to the finals and winning finals with in the era when them niggas was doing. Come on, bro. Elijah One 2 really feel like 3 or 4. It's a back-to-back in the Jordan era, in the Magic era, in the Larry Bird era, in the Shaq era, that Elijah 1-2 feel a lot different. Hey, I'm giving you my opinions, brother. You look at this list, I take all of them when we talk about championships and what you here for. You here to win championships. You want to go watch a show and watch an individual play great basketball, ISO ball, and have great dunks and all that shit. Cool. LeBron is up there. Like, there's no doubt. LeBron is a great individual player. But when it comes to basketball and what you need to be a championship level team, you need great systems. You need great players that's going to buy into philosophies. And the best philosophy is going to win. LeBron's philosophy is LeBron ball. What is it called? What they call LeBron ball? It's just LeBron ball shit. LeBron system. Y'all stand in the corner, watch me do me. I'm gonna put up numbers, and when I call on you, just be ready. That's great when it comes to LeBron individual stats. That's great when it comes to, hey, this nigga can carry your team so far, but that's only gonna go so far. When it comes to being a consistent champion, these dudes were playing inside of a system and also dominating. So it wasn't like, hey, George is coming up with the rock 34 times a night. It's like, nah, it's going to be triangle. He going to kick it. He going to have some off-ball movement. He going to get the ball, and he going to do his thing when he at his spots. And it was hard to stop because it wasn't just like, hey, Jordan got the ball in his hand the whole time. Like, yeah, Jordan going to take a lot of shots, but when you talk about the ball moving around like it's supposed to, it was a lot different. And I think that's where LeBron falls short. That's where AI falls short. That's where James Harden and Luka gonna fall short. Too much ISO ball. That's where Kobe was falling short at first till he figured it out. That's where Jordan was falling short at first until he figured it out. Jordan was dropping 35, 40 points a game in the regular season, averaging it. He was like, well, you know what? I need to, that's what I'm like, bro. Jordan could have easily be dominating the league if he was like, I'm going to do the longevity thing and I'm going to drop 40 points a night. He'll kill it. But he was like, if I want to be taken seriously where I want to be considered the GOAT, it ain't going to be me throwing down 35, 40 points a night. It's going to be probably me being 28 points, a good 28, as far as like when I pick my shots, to 35 points. And maybe like 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and things like that. I'm just kind of like making up whatever they need from them. But yeah, you could easily make that argument. Same with Kobe. Kobe could have been that dude that's like, bro, I'm just gonna ISO all day, every day, and it would have been amazing. But guess what? Paul Gasol would have felt isolated. Andrew Bynum would have felt isolated. Lamar Odom would have felt isolated. Derek Fisher would have felt isolated. And they wouldn't have been able to perform in the championship as good. Because all them dudes I named is a big reason why the Lakers are great. Were they putting up big numbers? No. But Kobe needed to be a great championship contender, you need to have faith and put confidence in your players around you. And Kobe did that. Jordan did that. LeBron, he don't do that, and it's not because of him as a like what he think as a person. It's just how he plays. It's just how he plays. I'm talking basketball now, and you don't gotta like it. You ain't gotta like it. But at the end of the day, I don't think I'm too far off. I obviously people will put LeBron probably like right here, or somewhere in the top 5. But as far as me and what I value in sports, why do you go to watch sports? To watch winners. Like, yeah, it may be a dude that's fast, or it may be a dude that's strong, but if he ain't gonna be a champion, who gives a fuck? It's like a, what do you call that shit? Those songs where it's like it's a minute of fame or something like that. Like, you gonna have some clout because you was great at something, but bro, we here to win. And we talk about winners. These dudes did it more consistent than LeBron. And none of these niggas had the ring chase. None of them niggas had the ring chase. Now, when we get outside of Curry, yeah, he ring chased. But like I said, I'm gonna give my clear opinion. Let's look at Curry unbiased opinion. Let me go back. LeBron and Curry's tied, so we're gonna look at LeBron first. Oh, no, we're gonna look at Curry first. We'll look at LeBron last, or whenever I place him. Curry championships, 2015. This hands down is an amazing accomplishment for Curry. This was just great team basketball, along with him stepping up and doing what he needs to do. But this is my example. They had dudes like, yeah, Sean Livingston only scored 5 points a game, but he was a crucial role player. Who else was a crucial role? Festy Ezeli, crucial role player. Andrew Bogut, he didn't play much. Harrison Barnes, he was kind of mid. And Barbosa, he was a good role player. Didn't average much, but the team had confidence. The team, they'll take shots and make big shots when they need to. They'll make big plays when they need to because they had a good system that helped these dudes get confidence throughout the whole season. LeBron don't allow his system don't allow players to do that. So when they need him in the finals, when he need them in big moments, they don't show up. And then y'all try to be like, oh, he ain't got nobody to play with. This nigga won with fucking Iguodala being his second best scorer. Where's Klay Thompson? Oh, 15. I ain't see. I'm about to say, what the fuck is Klay Thompson? Like, let's be real. Look at these numbers. This nigga Steph Curry won a championship with role players. Like, yeah, Klay was a splash bro, but it was a little bro at this point. If I'm being honest, I gotta put some more respect on Klay. Let me stop. But Klay only shot 300. He shot 30% from the three. Like, this nigga carried this team. And who the fuck did they play? LeBron. Like, at some point, I gotta match up. Like, bro, LeBron, yes, you drop 35 points a game. But that 35 points ain't championship basketball. Because you don't need 35 points to win a championship. That's what niggas don't be realizing. Maybe if you come off the ball more, be more off ball, JR may drop 20. Shump may have 15. Mike Miller may have more points. I'm being funny. Mike Miller will go ahead shit. But that's my thing. Maybe if LeBron come off the ball more, you see more production from the other players because look, LeBron got 8 assists, Kyrie got 6. That's great. Matthew got 3. That's not bad. But everybody else on the team ain't no fucking playmaker. Everybody else on the team just waiting on LeBron to, hey, LeBron, what you want me to do? You want me to cut? You want me to stand? Like, it wasn't a great team basketball. And you like, hey, blame the coach and things like that. It's like, no. LeBron is an ISO dominant player and he chooses to play that way. And a lot of times, that's why he loses in the finals. He should not have lost this finals. If LeBron at his greatest how he is, he lost to Curry dropping 26 points a game and his next best scorer being 16 and 15. He had that with Timothy. He dropped 35, 23, and he had another dude with 14, 10, and 10. He was not outmatched in 2016. Why did he lose this finals? Irvin got hurt. All right, I back up. I was like, I think something did happen. I was like, wait, there's no reason that something's off about this finals. So I will ease off of LeBron should have won this finals. But even then, bro, Kyrie being out, you still got JR, you still got Shump. I feel like if you, like I said, you come off the ball more and you let them be more confident players. Because we've seen JR before. JR could drop 20, 15 points a game. Oh, he wasn't a starter either, but yeah, I don't know. I really feel like this team could have still won, but I'll give it to him. It's hard to be like, hey, you lost your starting point guard in the finals and be like, you still should win. But LeBron is technically the point guard. So, I don't know. With the right system, I feel like they could have still beat this team. And I really think it was more about the system of the Warriors and being a great three-point shooting team and moving the ball, people having backdoor cuts and all that was more the reason why they won than Kyrie being out. I'm just being real. Basketball is about the system that you play. Triangle offense fucked up the game for the longest. Niggas couldn't stop the triangle offense when you had the right pieces to the puzzle. I don't know what you call the Spurs offense, but just that always giving that extra pass. Niggas couldn't stop that shit when you got Tim Duncan always willing to kick it and you got to double team him. So it's like, he's not going to take that dumb shot. He's not going to go over 3 dudes just because he can. And I think that should be mattering. If you look at every ISO player, LeBron is the greatest ISO player of all time. Don't get it twisted because he actually produced some championships. But you can also look at how that possibly could have capped his greatness. If niggas can't see that, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all don't know basketball like y'all think y'all know basketball. All I'm saying is if LeBron played a little bit different, it would have led to more championship basketball. But most people want to blame, hey, it's his team. What about him being gassed? Because he's doing too much. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe if he just come off the ball 20 or 30%, play off the ball a little more, when it comes in the fourth quarter, he can show the fuck out and carry your team. But he do shit. He carried the team all season, all regular season. Then you get to the finals where you got teams with great philosophies that's going to D up and know you going to have the ball. So they're like, oh, we'll let you do everything. If we ain't got to worry about these niggas, if they just going to sit in the corner, we'll let you do everything. Then he be wondering why he gassed and cramping in the finals. I'm just saying, I think LeBron, and I say the same thing about Shaq. Shaq could have had like 5 or 6 rings if he was more in shape. Like, I don't get why niggas be so hard to have these conversations. We talking about greatness, bro. We splitting thin hairs. I'm not saying he's slept on. Being in the top 10 of the NBA when this shit been around for hundreds of years, it's great as fuck. But I'm not willing to be like, this nigga's number one. When we talk about level of greatness, and that's what we here to be. Or that's what we here to see, champions. Might give a fuck about the second. Nobody ever give a fuck about second. Except when it comes to LeBron going to the championship 10 times. It's funny. But let me see. Let's move on to Curry's second ring, which it's going to be a tough one for me to respect. I don't respect Curry's second ring at all. Statistics, 35. He had 26. Which I respect. He had 26, 9, and 8. We're here to look at Curry. And even then, like, this is a super team. Like, Clay is the truth. Don't get it twisted. But if y'all was watching, bro, if y'all was just watching the stream, we looked at the Magic. We looked at the Heat. I mean, not the Magic. We looked at the Lakers. We looked at the why did I say the Magic? We looked at the Lakers. We looked at the Celtics. We looked at the Sixers. These teams had multiple 20-point scorers. These teams had multiple 20-point scorers. KD and Steph, like I'm mad at KD, but I'm mad at KD because he went to a team after he lost to these niggas 3-1. Well, he was up 3-1 and he lost to these niggas. But one nigga had 35, one nigga had 26, another dude had 16. They look like the Lakers with Shaq. And even then, Kobe wasn't scoring 26 points a game like that when Shaq was scoring 35. Like, this was a good philosophy versus a bad philosophy. Which they won this series, though. But it's not really a super. Like, they ain't win this series. They lost this series. I'm tripping. I seen Kyrie with 29 points. It made me think they won this series. KD just had more shot attempts, bro. They ran the offense through him and Steph. No, they didn't run the offense through him. They ran the offense how they normally run the offense. But KD is KD. He can fit in and he can fit into any system, really. Put KD in any system he could fit in. He's, what do you call that? He's a tool that could do anything. So KD went to this system and it went crazy. Because KD didn't even average 35 points a game in OKC like that. So it really was the system over anything. Because Curry still had his 26 points a game. So it wasn't like they just completely went away and like, hey, give it to Durant, give it to Durant. Curry still averaging his same points. Clay still averaging his same points. They just added somebody else to the system. And the system was fine. He was fine with the system. And let's look. Let's compare, bro. LeBron had 33. Kyrie had 29. These niggas lost in 5 games. Kevin Love was 16. Like, somebody explain to me why I should take away from this championship. At first, I was like, "Hey, Steph, you ring chasing," but it wasn't like you didn't. You had competition. JR had 11. Kevin Love had 16. LeBron had 33. Kyrie had 29. The only reason these niggas lost is philosophy. Philosophy. Your top 2 scorers is better than theirs. Your third scorer is the same as theirs. Philosophy. If you have a different system, your role players play better in the finals. 100%. Iman may have 8 points instead of 3 because we know he's talented enough to have it. Richard Jefferson, man, I don't know. He might be right where he is. Derek Williams, he was the end of his career. But I'm honestly believe that. Because at this point, it's not about statistics. It's about your dudes making the right shots and being confident enough to make the right plays at the right time. And when LeBron and his ISO dominant ball versus a team that everybody touches the ball almost every time they come down, it's a different level of basketball. And that's why they lost this championship. So when I look at it, I'm going to give it to Curry. Curry being as great as he is, being able to play in that system and still be great. Championship basketball. What, bro, look at the statistics. Look at the statistics. It's just like versus. We right here. What else is there to talk about? They matching up. Player for player, they matching up. And even you can even argue his role players is better than their role players. I would outside of these teams, historically, you're taking J.R. Smith over Sean Livingston. Who else was their role player? David West was a dog for the longest. But in this time and period, you're taking Tristan Thompson over David West. And David West was 10 minutes a game. He was dropping points. I mean, he wasn't dropping a bunch of points, but he was doing something. I remember David West out there making plays. Zaza Pachulia, he out there. Historically, you would take you'll take Tristan Thompson over Zaza. You're obviously taking Kevin Love over Zaza. But I'm just saying, role players is kind of even a little bit. JaVale McGee, like he was only driving 2 points a game. But it's all about the system when you get to this. Link War to the Discord. I don't have a do I still have Discord? We can chat it up. We can chat it up. That's cool. So while that's loading. But yeah, that championship is the most apparent to my argument. I'm not saying LeBron isn't great. He's the greatest ISO player of all time. But he's not necessarily the best team player of all time, and that's what leads to his lack of championships, excuse me. If he would have made a 10 to 20% tweak in his game, he might have had pulled out some more rings. That's all I'm saying. I said the same thing about Shaq. What I'm looking for. Where's Discord? How I'm gonna send this shit to you? I can just put it in the chat, huh? I don't do this shit at all. I do not do this shit at all. Somebody guide me through this shit, bro. How do I create a link or a lobby? That ain't it. I be feeling so old on this shit. I didn't mean to do that. When LeBron is the primary ball handler and the playmaker and Kyrie is scoring first point guard, it doesn't make it that much easier for the Cavs to succeed. I'm not saying that. So if you listened to me earlier, I said maybe they could have ran a triangle offense. For example, giving Kevin Love the ball more. Like maybe like I said, I was saying maybe JR, Amon Shumpert. Maybe if you just have more triangle sets and slow the ball down a little bit and let Kevin Love kind of facilitate the offense a little bit, he could have been like a Paul Gasol. And we seen how deadly Paul Gasol was on the Lakers. And let's be real. I'm not saying Kevin Love was Paul Gasol, but the talent level was pretty there. He could make it. He could make plays. He could take the ball off the dribble, and he could pass. But he had him he pretty much had Kevin Love just rebounding and sitting on the corner. And yeah, 16 points a game that's cool, but he probably could have got more out of Kevin Love. Same with Chris Bosh. I feel the same with Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh took a mean L playing with the Heat as far as statistically, because LeBron and power forwards and LeBron and centers don't really mesh well. He not about to kick it to him and let them make plays. Why the fuck would the team run a triangle with their primary scorer being a playmaker as well? Because didn't Jordan do that? Didn't Jordan run a triangle? I mean, I know he was the triangle. Like, he literally was the dude they'll kick it to and he'll pass out of it. But what do you mean? You do it because it leads to championships. That's why you do it. You do it because it could take your dude that's averaging 16 points a game to 25. And let's be real, LeBron should be able to get his in any system. So if he is running the triangle offense, it really shouldn't affect his plays. You run systems for the niggas that's not as consistent. A superstar gonna get his points in any system. So run the triangle benefits the whole offense in general. But why, like you said, well, why do that when LeBron could just be great by himself? That's my whole argument. LeBron would rather just be, hey, I can just do this on my own. And that leads to these dudes not being as productive as they could be on his team. That's it. You in the Discord already? How the fuck? I don't know how to make this shit work, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even ducking no smoke. I don't know how to make this shit work. What's this? Oh shit. I'm in D-Fran lobby. There we go.
Nigga.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Nigga. What the fuck is he talking about, bro?
Like I said, man, we here. In the beginning, I clarified what I feel is more important to me as far as championships. Or as far as the GOAT conversation. And it's championships, excuse me.
So LeBron isn't top 10 because of what?
Championships. When we talk about all these dudes gonna have statistical numbers.
So wait, who's in your top 10 then?
Right now, I got Jordan number 1. You can look right now. I got it up on the chat. I mean on the YouTube. Jordan number 1. You got Kobe, Magic, Duncan, Shaq, and this is after Shaq is where I kind of start having my debates where LeBron should be. So he's firmly not in my top 5. Like I would die on that ledge. I won't die that him and Curry.
Shaq is?
Yeah. Shaq got a 3-peat, averaging 35 and 15. And Kobe was not Kobe, like niggas saying. Kobe at one series he had 15 or 16 points.
How long was Shaq's career compared to LeBron's?
Don't matter.
When
why would you expect? My bad. Go ahead.
To 04? Nigga, this
is not rap, nigga.
Based off of rings. You said what?
It's not rap, nigga.
Nigga, if your whole argument is based off rings, then that's invalid. Like,
to answer
on top of that, MVPs, like LeBron has 4 MVPs as well. So
yeah, I'm not going out MVP because that's that media bullshit. We know Jordan could have 30 MVPs. Goddamn. LeBron technically have 10 MVPs. Like that yeah, exactly. The MVP shit kind of skewed. Shaq probably could have had 5, 10 MVPs in his era. Like I'm being facetious, obviously.
Are you not counting all NBA selections either? Like first team all NBA selections?
Not with these dudes because they all got that. And if they didn't have it, like what are we talking about? Who don't have first teams? Who don't have first teams NBA on my top 5?
LeBron probably has the most first.
LeBron got first team all defenses? Because a lot of the dudes in my top 5 got a first team offense and first team defense.
The only one that really has like double digit all defense is probably Jordan.
No, Kobe. I think Kobe got like 2 or 3. I know Shaq and Duncan got some. I know Duncan got multiple.
Why are you using Wikipedia to use Basketball Reference?
What's the difference?
It gives you all their stats, bro.
Because I pulled up Basketball Reference. I pulled up Basketball
Reference is more accurate.
Different in here too.
Like, because you using Wikipedia is just giving me like
a stroke.
You're giving me a stroke right now.
LeBron got 5 first teams, 1 second team, all defense.
Exactly.
He got 5 all team defense.
5 first team and 1 second team.
So okay, salute. I didn't know that.
And then compared to what Shaq? How much does Shaq have?
Shaq has
since LeBron is the top 5.
But I wanted to answer your question because you asked about how long was Shaq prime. I don't think that matters in my conversation because no one's going to ask Shaq to go to 10 straight finals. He's a fucking center that's
what do you mean?
7 foot 300.
All-time list.
He's 7 foot 300. No one is like we're not playing 2K is what we mean. Like some people, for instance. Let me get this off.
He weighs 300. He shouldn't make 10 straight finals because he's 7'3".
It's not realistic to expect. And
why is it not? If he's a top 5 all-time player,
because his size. I mean, that's just not reasonable. Even what LeBron's doing is not reasonable, and I give that to him. But at the end of the day, the championships are equal. So why would I care that LeBron went to 10 straight finals when they both were equal in finals? Shaq's dominance in his finals may have been greater, and outside of that, who gives a fuck if you were second place? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, when we talk about the GOAT, like, they're just not, like, they like, oh, he had a longer prime. Okay. Who cares? They have the same amount of rings.
So all that matters is rings. Why isn't Robert Horry on your list?
Because Robert Horry never led a team to a championship.
Why isn't Bill Russell on your list?
Bill Russell, they was voting for champions. They didn't even have finals. The only argument you could ask, Kareem is the only person that should be on my list that's not. Bill Russell played in a different era when it was 8 people. It was 8 teams in the NBA. I'm not taking that serious when he had 10 rings with 8 teams in the NBA. Let's be real.
So you're punishing him for playing in an era.
Yeah, yes, I know. That's why I said the only argument is Kareem, but I didn't watch Kareem, so I'm not gonna put Kareem on my list. I never watched Kareem highlights. I never watched
if it's just based off rings, why should that matter? What the fuck? It's like you're.
Why do you watch basketball? To watch winners, right? To watch greatness, right? What is the epitome of greatness? Winning the championship.
Winning rings, that's it?
That's the epitome of greatness.
No context behind anything, it's just rings.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
LeBron got 4, right? He had 4 rings. You don't count the bubble ring, so let's say he has 3 rings in your mind. Do you discount I understand you say winners, but do you discount all the times he actually made it to the dance and the amount of times people
don't care. Is irrelevant. I'm not because I was gonna get to that later when I finally put him on the list. We're gonna look at the East and the reason why he made it 10 straight times. The East was weak as fuck. Niggas, like, we're gonna talk about context. Let's talk about context. The East was weak as fuck. He made it 10 straight times. Okay, great. The East was weak as fuck, and we know it. It was nothing compared to the West. Nothing. Teams was making it with less than 500 records to the playoffs when LeBron was dominating the East. Come on, bro. No competition in the East besides his early years in the East. Once he got past, let's say, the Heat, once he got past Boston and the Pistons, the East started dying. Probably the best team he ever went against was Indiana Pacers in the East. Like, what are you talking about?
Who did Jordan face in the East?
Reggie Miller, the Knicks. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
from 1990 to 98. Who did he?
It's plenty other teams, bro. It's
compared to Jordan, since Jordan is the GOAT. Because I'm tired of people making this bullshit argument. Oh, the worst team, the best team that he played was the Indiana Pacers. Like, bro, okay, who did Jordan face from 1990? Because let's not act like there weren't playoffs where Jordan didn't even make the fucking finals.
Yeah, I mean,
playoffs where he didn't even.
Every player has that. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, LeBron made the finals 10 straight years? What, 9 straight years?
That's 10 in a row is crazy.
Like,
who
come on,
cares when he lost? The Pistons, that was another team in the East. The Sixers was another team in the East. But you can lose. But let's bring back the context. If you lose to the Celtics in the first round, which go on to win the championship, versus you lose in the finals, what's the difference? What's the fucking difference? He was losing to great teams versus he was washing the
finals and not making to the finals.
The reason I don't care is because you ran through the sorry ass East, and once you play real competition, you seen what happened. What are we talking about?
The Jordan didn't have a sorry ass East he faced.
No, he played the Sixers. He had the 76ers, which stayed stacked with Julius Erving, Moses Malone, Charles Barkley. They had plenty of stars. The Knicks stayed stacked. Who else I said earlier? The Pacers was decent. The Pistons was great. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Break it down.
The Celtics was great. What are we talking about? This nigga said the East.
If you really want to break it down,
Jordan time,
what shooting guards in Jordan's era did he face? I'm waiting.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because basketball is not an individual sport. It's about the team.
All of LeBron's matchups that
it's about the team.
To the finals were all top 3 small forwards.
Who?
Kawhi. Fucking Giannis,
he was on the West.
Fucking Paul George.
Giannis wasn't even in his era of running to the rings.
That he had to face to get to the finals.
No, he didn't. He never had to go against Durant to get to the finals.
Paul George?
That's one. You didn't name him. You said Kawhi, you said KD, you said Giannis. None of them was in the East during his 10-year run.
What shooting guards did Jordan face?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's about the teams you play and the philosophies they have. Simple.
Nigga, if you're Michael Jordan and there's no one at your position that's guarding you that can stop you, why the fuck does it matter about any other position? It doesn't matter.
That's not how basketball works, though. That's not how basketball works. In 2K, that may work in your mind. That's not how basketball works. You double team niggas. You have small forwards. You have tall point guards. You have just because there's not a 2 guard on the team that you don't think is decent. That's how basketball works.
They could
hey, question. Out of all the dudes in my top 10, who is competent enough to hold them on the opposite side of them any night? Nobody. No fucking body. You have to double team them or come up with different philosophies, switching off and switching on. It's everybody on my top 10. It's nobody on the other side that can stop them.
ISO ball. What the fuck? That nigga Kobe and LeBron are 2 different people. Kobe is ISO ball.
Now it's a different. You
have to double team him because he's an ISO ball player. It's only one person you have to be worried.
You have to double team everybody on my list. You have to double team everybody on my list. If you don't, they gonna walk over you. What are you talking about?
I guess you have to double team Magic fucking Johnson. I guess you have to double team Tim Duncan. I guess you have to double team Shaq.
What do you know basketball?
The only other person you have to
D-Frank, can you acknowledge that's a horrible statement? That's a horrible point.
I guess the only other person you have to double team is Steph Curry, nigga. That's the only other person you're double teaming is Steph Curry. Other than that, you're not double teaming anybody.
That's completely fucking wrong.
You're not double teaming fucking like.
That's completely fucking wrong.
Magic, you're double teaming Magic Johnson.
Yes.
All right, bro.
Yeah, you trying to get the rock out of his hand.
Magic Johnson can shoot threes, bro. Yeah.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You want the ball out of his hand. So when he comes up the court.
I'm definitely double teaming Tim Duncan in a system offense. Yeah, I'm definitely double teaming Tim Duncan. Like, what are you saying?
Because Tim Duncan will walk all over if you don't. He'll drop 30 and he'll drop 40 points if you don't.
You're not doubling Tim Duncan, bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta take you out, bro. You don't know basketball, bro. If you're saying you're not gonna double Tim Duncan, you don't know basketball.
How do you double a big man?
I really do, bro. We're not even talking because it's not. So you only double team people that can shoot threes and ISO.
I mean,
have you ever heard doubling a point guard off of a screen so you can get the ball out of his hand?
Unless you're super.
Have you ever heard of that? Can you answer that question?
You
don't answer questions. You don't answer questions. Okay.
What question?
So if Magic Johnson has the ball, he's coming off a high pick and roll. Is it smart to double team him and get the ball out his hand, or just let him rock off the pick and roll?
Pass first point guard.
So just let him rock off the pick and roll and do what he was gonna do anyways.
I would much rather sag off of Magic Johnson and
you gonna sag off Magic Johnson?
Like what?
He's 6'9". He's gonna run right into your chest and get to the basket. You don't. It's like sagging off of Giannis.
It's one thing. It's a difference between.
What are you talking about? You don't sag off of LeBron. Why would you sag off of Magic?
It's a difference between coming off a pick and roll at the top of the key than Magic Johnson being in the paint. If he's in the paint,
yes, he's easily getting to the paint if you're sagging off of him.
He doesn't need to get in the paint. He had Kareem in the paint. Why is he driving to the paint?
Because you just said you stopping. You just said you're gonna let him do what he do. So that means I'm assuming you doubling Kareem off the double. I mean off the pick and roll. If you have a pick and roll, who you gonna put your emphasis on? So let's play basketball in our minds right now. Let's play basketball in our minds right now. Magic and Kareem are on the pick and roll. How are you gonna defend that,
nigga?
How are you gonna defend that?
So you're telling me that I'm supposed to defend it by doubling Magic? What's up?
Yep. I would hope you try to get the ball out of his hands. Because he's the facilitator. He's literally making the offense go. I would think you try to get the ball out his hands. But hey, that's my defensive approach. Everybody got different philosophies. Obviously, you say you're gonna sag off, but I mean, that's how you go. But I don't know. I don't really get caught up in that. Oh, they went to the championship however many times. I don't care, bro. I don't care. The Bills went to the championship, went to Super Bowl 4 times in a row. Nobody talk about them niggas.
The Browns won. That's why you kind of throw that in there.
Yeah, and these niggas have all won too. At a higher rate, in a higher pace. So now we just throwing, he got to the championship 10 more times or 6 more times or whatever.
Nigga, why are you double teaming a pass first point guard? You still haven't answered my question.
Because you get the ball out their hand.
Why? When you not a threat at the perimeter? You're only doubling Kobe.
But he is a threat at the mid range, and he is a threat if he put his head down.
Bryce, do you play basketball?
Yeah.
Do you play basketball?
Yes.
Unless it's Shaq, why would you double any of those players?
Because Tim Duncan will drop you off in the post all day fucking long. Because Kobe in the ISO, in the post, he would drop you off all day fucking long.
Your argument was you're done.
Bro, I literally have a vivid memory of these niggas double teaming Jordan. He spin to the top of the key, then spin to the sideline and dunk on a nigga.
Hey, bitch, bro. Bryce, you're doubling all of these players in the second tier. Is that your argument? I
mean, that's not my argument, but you brought it up, and I was like, yes, you would.
You told me. That's what you told me.
You brought that up, bro.
Is that not what you said? What the fuck?
You brought that up, and I was just arguing that they could. That was your argument. I never brought before you got on the chat. I never brought up these niggas can be double. These niggas can beat the double team or some shit. I never argued that. You brought that whole conversation up.
So you'd have LeBron what after Tim Duncan?
Nah. Maybe in front of Bird. Maybe. This is probably where I have him. I'm trying to see. This used to be my argument before the bubble ring, and still now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would take Olajuwon 2 back-to-back rings over LeBron championships.
This is the greatest player, like just a player. Like he's like the greatest player. You say Hakeem Olajuwon is a better player than LeBron James?
Yeah, I take
if you had to draft people, you pick Hakeem Olajuwon over LeBron. They're like, hey, you have the
for championship. If I'm trying to go win championships, yeah. What are you saying? That my thing is anybody on this list you could build around. But if you think LeBron is outright over Olajuwon, hey, that's on you.
You don't think he gives you a better chance to win championships over like a long period of a career?
Oh, I give you that one. That's a great argument. Over a long period of career.
One season, you have 1 season to get. I'm talking about like if I'm an organization and I'm looking at all these guys' careers, and all these guys, obviously you pick Jordan, he 6 for 6, whatever. But like, I would think like maybe LeBron might be because he could do a lot with a lot less.
I mean, but Tim didn't have Tim first rings. His second best player was only dropping 15 points a game.
His first ring, what do you mean with David Robinson?
Oh, David Robinson dropped I think 16 a night. He dropped some decent points, but after that, Ginobili was dropping like 16 and shit like that. Like Tim Duncan was dominant for a long period of time when you want to go into that longevity argument. Same with Magic outside of the age shit.
Why should longevity matter if it's based off?
I'm only responding to his rebuttal. That's not. I wasn't making that case. He asked me a question. And I'm responding to that question.
All right.
That's all I can do. And I'm giving a rebuttal that these dudes had good longevity. These dudes played for 10 plus years and got many rings. LeBron, yeah, he played for 20 years, but through 20 years he only got 4 rings. Like, yeah, I might have had a longer window, but it don't seem like a championship is getting any closer.
Nigga, it's been 2 decades. What are you talking about?
And it's 2 decades of 4 rings. I would rather me have a stronger window than a longer window, if that makes sense to y'all. With Jordan, Kobe, I feel Magic, Duncan, and even Curry.
So anyone,
I have a window, and I could build around them, and I know they're gonna play in my system, a championship system, and they're gonna go hard. And I might have a better chance of winning with them in my system than I might have trying to build a LeBron system and having an ISO dominant player. Like, that may work 1 or 2 years. But the reason LeBron ain't never really 3-peated or 2-peated because he don't have a formula. Jordan had a great formula. Kobe figured out a formula with the 3-peat, then he figured out another formula with the 2-peat. Magic had a great team, but he also had a great formula. Tim Duncan, the formula. Curry, the formula.
Why isn't Kobe in the GOAT tier then? If
because it only could be one GOAT.
Oh, okay, all right.
It only could be one GOAT.
Like that.
It only could be one GOAT. What are we talking about? The greatest of all time.
All right.
So it's either
like you're picking and choosing your logic. But, you know.
I'm not. You gave me a reason to why people look at LeBron as great.
Like, what is it? Like, is it rings or longevity? I'm confused.
If you pay attention, if you keep up, I told you that wasn't even my argument. That was a different argument. I was just responding to that argument. And my response to that argument, if you want to talk about longevity, a lot of these dudes can give you that outside of Shaq. Outside of Shaq, and maybe outside of Shaq, and yeah, I mean,
Hakeem can get you longevity.
I was about to say, and Hakeem, and those are sinners. Those are sinners, so it's almost expected.
Magic Johnson.
Magic won 5 fucking years. What are you talking about? And he played for how many years? Yes, that's longevity. Winning 5 rings is longevity, nigga. I don't give a fuck if you can play in the league for 20 years. If you can win 5 rings, what are you talking about? It don't matter. He could win 5 rings. That's longevity enough. Winning 5 rings, nigga, you gotta have something in you, because he ain't winning 5 straight. So what are we saying? Like, winning, like Jordan won 6 years. That's fucking longevity. At a high peak. Winning back-to-back, three times, 3-peating twice. Kobe 3-peated once, back-to-back twice. Elijah won back-to-back twice. Like, you win back-to-back when you know you got a great formula. Honestly.
You know how I know this list is capped? You want to know how I know? Because you just said LeBron is in top 10, but he's technically 10. You only named 9 players in your tier list, and he's the 9th player. He's literally the 9th player. So how is he not top 10?
Because niggas want him to be number 1. I got to get you niggas here.
Come on, bro.
Don't get too butthurt.
Come on, bro.
I got to get niggas in the chat. Come on, bro. Niggas expect him to be top 5, top 3, number 1. He number 9? That's your argument? Come on.
Bro. Like,
come on, bro.
This dick suck, bro. LeBron is at least top 10. At the very least, bro. At the very least, he top 10. Cool. If you want to knock him for that 2011 shit, that's cool. But at the end of the day, like, he's been playing 2 decades, most points all time. Like, he's too accomplished not to be top 10, bro. He's way too accomplished, bro.
That's fine. I'm not gonna down that ledge. He could be top 10, but the reason I'm trying to get you niggas here is to talk about the GOAT. Come on, bro.
Jordan's not the GOAT, though.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's top 2. Nothing wrong with being second.
Why do you think he's better than Jordan?
Why do I think LeBron James is better than Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
Well, strength of his competition that he faced. His longevity, his consistency. He literally played with a shit franchise for like 7 years. got them out of mediocrity. Yeah, they didn't win a ring, but what were the Cavs before LeBron?
What was the Bulls before Jordan?
I mean, the Bulls still won.
What was the Warriors before Curry? What was Tim Duncan? What was the Spurs before Tim Duncan?
You know the Bulls won championships before Jordan, right?
No, they didn't.
They did?
No.
Okay, that's cool. Did the Cavs ever win shit? Like ever?
They was in the finals when the Jordan era. I mean, not the finals. They was in the conference finals in the Jordan era.
The Jordan era. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about with what's his name?
Yeah, but I mean they
Mark Price. I'm talking about Mark Price.
Yeah, I mean if you gonna say ever, but no, I mean I get what you're saying. The Cavs wasn't historically great.
The Bulls were like more like a notable franchise.
No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't.
The Bulls weren't.
No, they wasn't. Not when Jordan got there.
All right, bro. All right.
Same with the Spurs. Same with the Warriors.
Why is Magic Johnson so high?
He got 5 rings.
That's oh my God.
He got 5 fucking rings.
Your argument is so terrible, bro.
It's not. It's 5 rings.
So it's based off
against. He played against the Celtics that were stacked. He played against the Sixers that was stacked. He played against Detroit, which was stacked. Okay. You talk about level of competition, which was your first initial statement about LeBron is great. That in itself is flawed. The East was weak as fuck, and when he played legitimate competition, when he played and he ain't did shit, and he ain't did shit. That 10 championship streak broke soon as he got over there, huh? How about that? That 10 as soon as he went to the West, what happened? So if you're gonna bring up that argument, you brought that into play. You brought that into play. He in the West now. As soon as he got in the West, what happened? That streak snapped.
Ring in the West. What the
but his 10 finals in a row shit snapped. Then am I right? Am I right? Exactly.
He won a ring in the West. That was his biggest knock on him. He played in the easy ass East, right? He went to the West and won a ring.
A bubble ring, nigga.
What do you want this man to do? Like, I'm confused.
And Wardu, the reason I don't like your point now is because context. You act like the West when LeBron went to the West was the same West when he was in the East. Let's remember history. It is not arguably better.
It's arguably a more.
This West is way weaker. This West is way weaker. People are saying the East is better than the West. People are saying the East is better than the West right now. What are you talking about? That never was an argument back in the day.
All right, bro.
It wasn't even an argument.
You're telling me
what are you talking about?
Now,
yes, nigga, question. Not even a question.
All right, bro. All right.
You had the Suns, you had the Spurs, you had the Lakers, you had the Rockets, you had the Mavericks. What the fuck are you talking about?
You got it, bro.
The West was undoubtedly stacked with great teams. You had OKC rising up. What are you talking about? Now the West, bro, what are you like? The old Warriors, a bunch of young teams. Luka. What are we talking about? The West is just this. No, stop it.
Luka,
stop
Jokic, John Morant, Devin Booker.
Oh, because we take Jokic seriously as a fucking championship contender. Stop it. Stop it.
It's not stacked, I guess.
The Clippers, and they always fucking hurt. Let's be realistic. The Suns is your only argument.
The Suns, the Mavericks, the Grizzlies. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I guess.
I just said young teams or teams that don't really even matter when it comes to championship level shit. What are you talking about? That's not even a question. It's not even a question. Memphis ain't proven.
None of these are.
The Mavs ain't proven. I'm talking about proven teams in the West back in the day.
You think there's more championship contending teams in the East than the West? Is that?
That's what people argue right now. Yeah.
What you're saying?
Yeah. People will say
these are the top.
I'm asking you.
Let's go. These are the top 3 teams right now, according to just the playoffs ranking. So for the East, you got Milwaukee, Boston, Philly. For the West, it's Denver, Memphis, Sacramento. Now,
and them teams are undoubtedly better.
Those top 3 versus those top 3, who would you say are the better 3 teams? Just off those.
Them 3 go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the East and then the West.
I mean,
and the Kings. The Kings.
I mean, if you want to include the Kings, you can, but I'm not. I'm including the Clippers. I'm including the Nuggets.
The Clippers are fucking always hurt.
Nigga, it still have Kawhi and fucking Paul George on the same team. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to think Phoenix got
like
be real, be fucking for real, my nigga.
Yeah, they got him this year.
A team with KD, Devin Booker.
When the last time Chris Paul made it through the whole playoffs?
Be fucking for real, my nigga.
I am being for real. Jokic ain't serious.
You're not, bro.
Yeah, he didn't make it. He didn't finish. He got hurt. He got hurt in the finals.
I mean, he made it to the, end.
My point is, these are not teams that you're taking 100% serious. Like the Boston in their prime, like Milwaukee in their prime. Like there's big questions around teams in the West. Let's be real. The Nuggets have big questions. Yeah, they got Jokic, but they got big questions. That ain't no fundamentally sound team. Like, what are we talking about? When I said the West was stacked, nigga, we had teams playing great basketball, great team basketball. It wasn't about just one player.
How many wins did the Nuggets have this year?
They're winning.
How many wins did the Nuggets have?
They're like top 3 or top 4. Who gives a fuck?
They had 57 wins. Right?
Hey, the Raptors was the Raptors when they had Kyle Lowry and fucking DeMar DeRozan was number 1 and still got fucking swept. Just like the Kings this year. Like, bro, we know the NBA always have inflated dudes that have a great regular season and get washed in the post. What are we talking about? If you know basketball, that happens every year. It usually was the last 3 years, it was the Jazz. Nobody took them serious. They had Donovan, they had Gobert, they got Bob Donovich, they had the dude that's on the Pacers now, whatever I forget where he at now. The other white boy that can shoot.
What's the difference from Philly and Denver and Jokic as far as playoffs go?
Better team. It's a better team.
I'm just about as far as they make it. Is he a championship level player? What's the difference between those two guys in the teams?
They both in question, honestly. But I was saying Embiid, the teams he lose to, you were respected more. Like, he lost to a buzzer beater against Kawhi. Like, who is Jokic losing to? And what series was like? We seen he go down to the wire. It's like, besides the bubbles. And I don't even know if he was really that much to do with the bubble. It was more Murray than anything.
DeFran, you were mentioning the top 3 seeds in both conferences, right?
Yeah.
Can you mention the 4th through 6th seed in both?
Okay, so number 4 I'm going
for
to
more
West.
context.
In the West, it is Phoenix, and then the Clippers, and then it's Golden State, and then it's the Lakers, and then I think what Oklahoma City made it, right? OKC made it in? Oh, no, this is Minnesota. I don't know. I'm fucking reading this shit off.
Yeah, Minnesota made it.
Okay, so that's
Minnesota. I think.
I don't know. OKC just won, didn't they?
Yeah, OKC won.
Oh, no, this is some shit on the internet. This is ESPN, but
I'm on Basketball Reference.
Maybe they got it wrong. Yeah. But anyways, for the other seeds, I see for the East, you got Cleveland, the Knicks, Brooklyn, and Atlanta, and then Miami.
Yeah, I guess you're comparing the East to the fucking West.
Brooklyn,
exactly.
they lost KD, Kyrie. They ain't about to do shit. The Knicks, I don't know.
Regardless of order, your argument's not that great because to me, the East not great, the West not great. Okay,
it's like the East is like top heavy, obviously with Philly and Bucks. And
yeah, it's top heavy.
When you look at the other teams at the bottom, you like Golden State, they might be a little hurt or whatever, but you still take them over Brooklyn, probably even Cleveland and the Knicks. Phoenix, obviously, they all firing all cylinders. You take Phoenix and the Clippers also. You'll take Clippers over
exactly.
Even the Lakers, I don't know. Y'all probably know better than me. Would you take
Lakers,
the Lakers over Brooklyn and New York Knicks?
Okay, you won that argument, but that don't regard the past history of where the East and West was, bro. Like, okay.
Historically, the West has always been stronger. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, and when he came to the West, his streak got broken.
It was still stronger. What are you saying? It's always
he didn't go to he's not going to 5 straight finals in the West. He's not going to 3 straight finals in the West. Is my argument. Is that wrong or right? Yes, he won a championship. I gave him that. I didn't like.
How long has he been in the West? Like what? What are you saying?
It's been many years, and he's haven't even made the playoffs some rounds. Some years.
His first year with the
what are we talking
Jordan
about?
Hasn't made the finals in some rounds. Like what are you saying?
Not after his prime. Not when he was in his prime. What are we talking about?
LeBron's been in his prime since his second year in the league. So I mean.
Yeah, so it's cool, but
it goes back to my point about longevity. But go ahead.
Longevity don't matter when the rings ain't coming.
The rings are coming, and the MVPs.
Yeah, if he get another ring, salute to him. He top 5 for sure. Top 5 for sure. Yeah,
I just got a tweet about the MVP ladder. Jokic is still number 1 on the MVP ladder, by the way. But
don't matter to me. He ain't gonna win the championship. Mr. 3-time.
Where's Robert Horry on your tier list then? If all that matters is the ring.
Well, that's just ignoring context.
This is the typical casual fan like argument. Like
no, you just had a typical rebuttal. That's an ass rebuttal. Like obviously, no one's gonna mention Robert Horry. Like, come on, bro. Do you remember arguments and points that have been made?
Because he played in a shitty era. Why does that matter?
He played when there were 8 teams. He played when there were 8 teams, and the NBA wasn't even the NBA. That's not
about rings.
Modern NBA is what I'm judging. How about that? Can that ease your mind?
This tier list has old school players on it. It's not just modern NBA.
Modern NBA starts with pretty much when you start seeing faces of the league like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and then Jordan is what made the peak of the NBA. But when you start the modern era, you usually start it around the Celtics and the Lakers rivalry, along with the Pistons coming in late. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Is this not
that's history.
If it's history, it's not an all-time list, right?
So I was looking at LeBron and
it's my modern all-time list because that's the NBA I respect. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for you to understand. Like, me not respecting the NBA when there were only 8 players in the league is like, I don't know why that's so hard for you to balance.
8 players in the league?
I mean, 8 teams in the league, excuse me. I don't speak perfect sometimes. What you about to say, D-Fran?
I'm reading. I'm trying to see something.
Continue your tier list. I'm watching.
All right, now that's it. I was really just here for the top 10. I'm trying to see.
You're only gonna put those players, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
they're all in the same tier. Okay, well.
Oh, you want me to tear them out?
That's ass.
Want me to tear them out?
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah. I don't know how Shaq's over Curry, but
Shaq 3-peated, dropping 35 and 14, and he got 4 ships. He didn't have to go ring chase to get KD. So that's why he's over Curry.
Lord have mercy.
Huh?
He got LeBron tier 3.
Curry, Shaq didn't define an era. Sorry.
He did what?
Shaq didn't define an era.
I don't care about that.
He was just a dominant player in an era.
And he had 4 rings. What are you talking about?
So does Curry.
Yeah.
How many Hall of Fame players did Magic have on his team when he won them 3 with Kareem?
He had a lot.
He had a lot. James Worthy and Kareem.
Yeah. So I talked about it earlier. The thing about it is why I was battling with it, honestly. It wasn't like this was like...
With that context, I would think that... Because I don't know, like I said, I don't know too much. Like maybe Manu and Tony Parker, they're Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, but...
you would compare them to Kareem and James Worthy. So why wouldn't you put Tim Duncan over Magic Johnson?
It was an argument. I almost put him under Shaq. Magic almost was here, but this is my argument with Magic. He's a point guard, and he did what was asked for him. We went to the final stats. In the finals, one year, he dropped like 19, like 8 and like 5, right? Because he had other players he had like 3 other players that was dropping like 15 plus. He didn't need to do much but lead the team, and he ain't have to have an ego. He didn't have to be like, I can score the most points. I can show y'all I'm the best on the team. He ran the team how he was supposed to. When he had scores that wasn't on the team as much, like when there wasn't as many people on the team scoring, he upped his shit to 25. Like he was doing what was asked of him, and it's easy for a dude to, when you're on a team with a bunch of dudes that's supposed to be good, to get an ego and be like, I'm better than them. I'm fuck this system. I'm gonna do me, and that wouldn't lead to championship basketball. So even though you're surrounded by great players, we ain't seen people be surrounded by greats and they struggle and it don't even work out. But the fact that Magic could make it work with those other great players is a testament to him, because he could have. It's easy to say like, oh, look at him do that. That shit easy. Anybody could have did that. But that's in a 2K mindset. In real life, with people and egos, it take a lot for somebody that's that great to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna really drop 30 a night when I know I can. I'm gonna drop 19. I'm gonna get 10. I'm gonna get 10 rebounds, and I'm gonna get 5 assists because that's what my team need for us to be better. The nigga played center when what's the name got hurt. When Kareem got hurt, the team thought they were gonna lose. This nigga played center and dropped 40 and like 15. Like,
by the way, he's never had a season where he's had 10 rebounds a game. But
I never said. I was talking about in the finals. I literally preferenced. I checked. We were talking about final stats, and that just, when we look at finals, that just, the reason I look at finals to give context is because that's where your philosophies and how you play the basketball are really gonna get tested. You're gonna go against another team that's got great philosophies, and it's about matching up. Who philosophy better than the other ones? Who players gonna buy into that philosophy better than the other ones? And whoever do that the best end up winning. And when you in the finals, when all the pressure is on you, when all the eyes are on you, if you're able to still play your role, play in that philosophy, and dominate, you have to respect that. So it's easy to look at regular season numbers. It's easy to look at all that, but ain't no pressure on you. Teams ain't really game planning for you for 7 straight games. Team ain't really watching film on you like that. So it's a lot of difference. And when you look at the teams that they were playing, they wasn't playing no scrubs. They played the Celtics that were stacked. They played the Sixers that were stacked. They played the Pistons, which was a great team. So they weren't playing when they was hooping. The other teams that were playing against in the finals had multiple 20-point scorers as well. So that was another thing that I took into account of why I put him over there. It wasn't like he had the stacked team and everybody else was just weak, like with the Curry. Like, nigga, nobody.
You said Kareem's not better, right? Than Magic.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't watch Kareem, so I'm not disrespecting Kareem by putting him on. I just didn't watch him. If he should probably be on the GOAT list as well. It'd probably be him and Kobe tied. I mean him and Jordan tied, but I didn't watch him. I'm being reasonable to what I watched. I can't make an argument for somebody I never did research in before. All these other dudes, I watched highlights. I watched multiple games of. I know how they play. I know what their role was. I know how they got buckets. Like it's not even a question. So I'm just being realistic as far as the arguments I can make.
All-time tier list if you haven't watched the majority of the players.
Say what?
How can you properly gauge an all-time tier list if you haven't watched multiple players of multiple eras? If it's
because I would the era. What other eras do you think I'm leaving out? That's like relevant.
The 70s.
Don't care. Come on, bro. Like you questioning my you questioning my NBA knowledge because of the 70s, bro.
I mean, even
come on, bro.
With the modern shit, it's wrong. But I mean, you know,
how is it wrong? How is it wrong? Who would you have more?
Your sole argument is
I can have. Where is my boy at? Where is Isaiah Thomas? Isaiah's got 2 rings.
You're claiming your sole argument is rings, but there's multiple flaws in your argument.
Not really. What's my main flaws?
Yes,
if I got multiple flaws, give me 3.
Let me ask you this before you answer, Woodard. Let's just say I'm going hypothetical here. So LeBron has 4. Let's say you do count the bubble. If LeBron beat the Mavericks when he was the Heat or San Antonio, either one, and he has 5, where would you put him?
He got 5?
If he just won one more, he either beat the Mavericks or the Spurs when he was with the Heat. Where would you put him?
Either in front or behind, probably behind Kobe because Kobe got a 3-peat and a 2-peat.
So it'd be 3. Okay.
Or it'll be right. It'll be right here. They all got 5. It'll be hard.
So the rings is what's holding him back.
It's just rings.
Of course, of course. What do we?
You just said that's not really the thing, but
what? I said that.
Because Word keeps saying, "Oh, it's only about rings." You're saying no, but
I thought
one more. He'd be.
Oh, I might have missed. I misspoke then. Excuse me.
How many Shaq got? 4, right?
Yeah, Shaq got 4.
So why Shaq over? Like way over, like 3 over.
What you mean?
Like why Shaq over?
Duncan has 5 and Curry has 4.
You know what I'm saying? So how many does Larry Bird have? 5 or
4? 3.
He has 3.
So why is Larry Bird over LeBron?
Because I don't respect LeBron 3. I mean, I don't respect LeBron 3.
You see what I'm saying? It's not objective, bro, at all. Like it's not.
I said that I said the same thing about Curry. And I brought that into question. I said the same thing about Curry. I brought that into question with Magic, and I brought that into question with Kobe. You just weren't here or weren't paying attention. I said I literally Curry has 4 rings, and he was probably the better player on all 4 of his rings. Not the better player, but he was the top player. This nigga had 10 points in the finals on his 4th ring, or 12 points in the finals in his 4th ring. Shaq. So I could easily put him over, but this nigga got a 3-peat. I'm respecting a 3-peat with 35 and 14 over 2 rings with KD. Like, come on, bro.
I don't know, but I'm just asking.
And the other 2 organic.
The teams that are playing in the 3-peat, were those like top tier teams?
I mean, what do you mean?
I'm just
asking how good they were.
The Nets was a good fundamental team. They had Jason Kidd. They had Kenyon Martin, and they had another one. But they had multiple dudes dropping over. I think they had 2 dudes drop 20 points, and then Jason Kidd was dropping almost a triple double with like 16 something or something.
What I'm asking is those 3 rings versus LeBron's like strength of schedule. Who would you say beat better teams? And especially you also got to, I guess, well, you couldn't count because he had D Wade and Chris Bosh. But
so, like, what are we talking about?
I'm still just asking who had better strength of schedule, really.
I don't argue. I'm gonna get in that argument because I don't. They all have respectable. Like they all played in great eras. What are we talking about?
The teams that LeBron beat was what? The 2012 Thunder, 16 Warriors,
2017 Warriors, I guess.
No, the Warriors won 2017.
Mavericks before with the Heat. Who did he beat with the Heat?
They won in 15.
He beat the Miami Heat 2020.
I was like, but who did he beat with the Heat? He beat
the Spurs
and the Thunder.
Okay, so
and that Spurs team was an all-time
team. So he beat Tim Duncan and he beat Russell, KD, even though they was young. I'm sure it's gonna be
that 2013.
Young and old. You could argue he shouldn't have even lost to the Spurs, but yeah.
Who you talking about?
LeBron. He beat an old Spurs team that he probably should have never lost to in the first place, and they barely beat him. Barely fucking beat him. They still was old though.
Bro,
they still was old and they barely beat him.
What year was that? 2012.
It was 2013, bro.
Tim Duncan was damn near retired.
Bro, Kawhi
was not Kawhi at the time.
Kawhi has the highest field goal percentage in finals history, and you're talking about Tim Duncan. Did you not understand how
he probably shot 6 times a game? What are you talking about?
Do you not understand how scared LeBron was when Kawhi checked into the game, bro?
And that's why he ranked where he at. Thank you for bringing that up. Most LeBron fans don't bring that up. That's why this nigga ranked where he at. Scared, nigga? Of a nigga that's in his third year? You're crazy.
At the free throw line
I remember it vividly. I don't need the meme. I was there. I remember it vividly.
Like what?
That's why this nigga down where he at, nigga. You talking about goats, nigga? He was scared of a third-year player. He's scared of a third-year player, Kawhi Leonard. He the fucking GOAT? Stop it. Stop it. Jordan could never. Kobe will laugh at that nigga. Stop it. Kawhi, nigga?
Kobe's dead, so.
Laughing at that. Kobe will turn over in his grave thinking about Kawhi stopping that nigga in the finals. Stop it.
But Kawhi was in his first year.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, this nigga was terrified of Kawhi Leonard. The fuck out of here.
He was. What the fuck?
And I'm supposed to put him at GOAT? The fuck are you talking about?
Nigga,
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up, bro. Thank you. I'm glad you remember that too. Most LeBron fans try to get that out of his head.
LeBron sucks, bro.
I ain't say he suck. It's levels to this shit. It's levels to this shit. Jordan 3-peated twice. Kobe 3-peated and 2-peated. And you got to understand what that means. That speaks to philosophy. That speaks to buying into the system along with leading and being a great player. And that's what basketball takes. It's a delicate balance. That's why Luka's struggling right now. That's why James Harden struggles. Because it's not like it. If Kobe wanted to go out and average 35 or whatever, he could have. If Jordan wanted to do that for the rest of his career, he could have. But they realized they had to find a way to fit into a system that could work and win championships. LeBron has honestly never done that. And when he's tried to, he's looked horrible. That's what happened in the Mavs. He tried to take a backseat and try to play off the ball with D Wade. He looked horrible because he's a ball-dominant player.
LeBron didn't play in the system in 2013 and 2012.
ISO ball. It's ISO. It's LeBron ball and move out the way.
ISO ball.
Huh?
You thought LeBron in 2012 and 2013 was ISO ball when Pat Riley was there?
Look at his usage rate. Look at his usage rate. It was all-time high.
I could maybe agree
for a small forward.
LeBron on the Cavs the second time, I could kind of agree with you there because that was more ISO ball. But 2012, 2013, LeBron had to adjust after 2011. His
adjustment was waiting on D Wade to take a back seat. That's the only adjustment he needed. That's the only adjustment. That's the reason that their philosophy was fucked up the first season because they
isn't that what the fuck isn't all right. Sorry, you got it.
They couldn't figure out who was going to take the role. They couldn't figure out who was going to do it. And when LeBron had to kind of be in question of that, and he know he's not going to be the number one, it was a problem. And we've seen LeBron make Kevin Love a wing shooter or a spot-up shooter We seen him do that to Chris Bosh. That's what he does. He isolate his players due to his type of philosophy and how he plays, and that leads to less championships, bro.
You were just telling me Jordan had to play in a system. Isn't that him technically?
No, Jordan adjusted to a system. He
could have averaged 35 or 40 if he wanted to.
He could have kept. If you listen to all of my words, I said you could have. That's not taking a back seat when you're still the dominant player. You misunderstanding that whole point. You misunderstanding that whole point. My thing is they could have had dominated years for 10 plus years, but it would have led to less championships, or it wouldn't have led to back-to-back championships. Maybe you'd have got one here, got another one here, got another one there. If Jordan didn't decide to adjust his game, him adjusting his game went from, hey, I'm gonna drop 35 to 40 in the playoffs to me dropping like 30. And me locking more in on defense and me moving like that. That's the difference. He still was clearly the best player. He clearly was still dominant. But him adjusting allow his other players to get into the game. Him adjusting allow his other players to get confidence throughout the season. That's why you see Scottie Pippen boom. That's why you see other dudes be able to step up like Luke Kukos and Steve Kerr and take big shots. Because he was willing to do shit differently and give them dudes confidence. Versus him dropping 40 a night. He ain't passing up no shots. He ain't giving Steve Kerr that shot. He not giving Lucas that shot in the regular season. Then when it comes to the finals.
LeBron though, they say LeBron doesn't he always defers to people.
Yeah, he defers late, but they stand in the corner all season. Then when they in the finals, he want them to make a big shot. It's like that person ain't got confidence. That person, you gotta with basketball, bro. It take movement. It take them touching the ball consistently. LeBron is like, when I feed you, I feed you. And that's his ball play, and that's his philosophy. And it's gonna win him championships because he's so fucking great. But outside of that, it's the reason why he wasn't able to win more championships. Because let's be real, if he was more of a team player, being able to play off the ball, he would have beat the Mavs. He would have beat them Spurs. He wouldn't have struggled against the Spurs and need Ray Allen to make a game-winning shot against the Heat. LeBron is great, but when you talk about what it takes from a great basketball player, bro, you got to know systems and you got to know the ins and outs and the P's and Q's of basketball. And LeBron knows it to a degree, but when it comes to being in a system, it's not it.
It just feels like, because like we said, pretty much one mishap sends you to the back of that list. Because we can't look hindsight 2020. I mean, I don't know if that's a proper phrase, but we can't really tell what would have happened. But the year he lost to the Warriors when Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt, it's like, so if those things didn't happen, then all things you're saying are kind of irrelevant because those things didn't happen. He'd be.
That's one championship. You still got 5 other to account for.
But you said
he went to 10.
But you said if he had 5, he would be number 3. You just said if he had 5, he'd be number 3. So I'm saying the one happenstance is all the things you're saying just feel irrelevant because if Kyrie and Kevin Love didn't get hurt, he would be number 3.
It's possible. Yeah. But even when I looked at that team, the statistics wasn't that off. Even when you take Kyrie off, Curry had 26 and then Clay was dropping 16 points a game.
Yeah, but when you take
LeBron had 35.
LeBron
had 35 and LeBron had 35. He still had Kevin Love, he still had JR, he still had Shump. And if those dudes had been in a good system, let's say when they was in the Knicks and how they was looking like some studs on the Knicks. Then came to the Cavs, it was a little regression. They still was role players. It just was a little regression. The people don't remember Shump on the Knicks and JR on the Knicks. They were doing decent. They were putting up some decent numbers. Then they came, they just, hey, y'all shoot threes and play defense. And
were they the only players on the Knicks?
When the Knicks after they traded Melo, pretty much. I mean, Jason Kidd was there. Imadi Stoudemire was there.
Don't you think you're the best player on a sorry team? You're gonna look like you're.
No, they weren't on a sorry team though. They had a decent team. The Knicks was decent.
Who's the best players on the Knicks whenever they were doing what you're saying? Was it they were the best players?
They were good players on that team.
I was but who was better than them on that team?
Maybe was it with them? I don't know if Imadi Stoudemire was on that team still, but it wasn't nobody a world beater.
My point is just if you're the best player on your team, of course you're gonna look good. And when you go to a team that has exponentially better players, you're gonna
Yeah. It may be a small regression, but that's a valid point, D-Frank. It should be a small regression, but now you're just a 3-and-D dude. You don't even play make no more. You don't even look you don't even have that same come on, bro. It's a difference. It's a difference. And I believe if LeBron came off the ball 20 or 30% more, I'm not even saying 100% more, he completely off the ball. He could still ball dominate, but say he did a little less and he ran some offense through other players, they would have been more confident to step up in the finals. Because my biggest thing is like the Warriors. These niggas had people like Sean Livingston, especially Zealy, like dudes that we consider like washed in the league. Like they've been in the league for years and ain't did shit. Like to a level. Then they get on the Warriors, they buy into this role and they making plays when needed. It may be 5 or 6 points here, but it's when needed. Versus these other dudes fumbling and fucking up because they not used to being put in this pressure and having the ball in their hand. And when I look at that Warriors versus the Cavs, LeBron was dropping 30. Kyrie was out. You still had Love with a 16 points a game.
Love
and then
didn't play at all in the 2015 finals.
The one. Oh, you said 2015.
Never played.
Okay.
Like the first time they ever played. Kyrie got 23 points, but he played one game. But besides that, like LeBron was playing with, like you said, J.R. Smith, Trish Thompson, Timothy Mozgov. Timothy Mozgov was LeBron's second highest scorer for that finals.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I still feel like JR could have produced more if you utilized him more in the season instead of being a 3-and-D. Same with Shump, because I seen that potential from them. And you've seen other players that have certain potential, then they go to LeBron, and it's hard for them to figure it out because you got to play LeBron's system. I forget Woods was his name when it was like one of the last Cavs teams. He was supposed to come from the Jazz and make an effort, and he came from dropping like 14, 15 points a game on the Jazz to not being able to fit with LeBron because the Jazz run a system. The Jazz run a certain philosophy that he could buy in and get used to versus LeBron is like kind of get in where you fit in. A lot of people not able to do that. They are exceptions. Like D-Wade figured it out. Chris Bosh figured it out. Kevin Love figured it out. Kyrie figured it out. There are exceptions, but the average player won't be able to do that consistently. And you even see with those times, there'll be struggles with that too. Even when he playing with them players, there'll still be struggles. It ain't something that's 100% consistent. But I will give you that them not having Kevin Love and Kyrie is a great argument to saying he could have one more ring. But I mean, you could say that with you can say the same thing about a lot of people in this situation. I'm pretty sure
about Steph Curry and them when they lost Clay and they lost
KD. That's what I'm saying. You can say that with plenty of teams where I'm pretty sure somebody got hurt on a season where.
My thing was just the argument because you was naming a lot of reasons why he wasn't there, but when I asked if he just won one more, would he be there? So that's why I say it just feels like all those reasons are really irrelevant whenever he just needs one more. So like if he won this year, would he jump? Like I said, would he jump to number 3?
Yeah, he might not jump to 3 because I still respect him and Magic. And you still got them Heat. You still got like I said, you still ring chase with the Heat, which I don't respect. Not like KD, not respecting it because it's a little different, but I still don't respect it as much. I still don't respect the bubble ring.
Personal vendetta against LeBron's ring.
No, because did you just not hear me? The crazy thing about it is I literally mentioned KD and Curry in that same statement.
But Curry
I literally said that shit was worse.
But you said you respect players that played in the system. Curry played in the system.
Yeah, but he also had the ring chase, so it's a little off.
Curry had the ring chase.
He nigga went to go get KD. That's not ring chasing?
I mean, it was technically Draymond, but I guess.
They ring chase. The Warriors organization ring chase.
They won without KD, so how was that ring chasing?
You can still ring chase. Like, what?
Bro, stop, bro.
What is your... How's your...
Technically, I can see Bryce's argument that
only because KD.
Think about this. They beat them the first time, right, without Kyrie, Kevin Love. They come back the next year, they go up 3-1, then they lose. Maybe they're like, oh shit, with Kyrie and KD.
And they were down 3-1 to KD.
So then when they get KD, it's like, we need to go get somebody else.
And they were down 3-1 to KD, so they had doubts in that organization. It wasn't like, oh, they about to go 2-peat. Like, what are you talking about?
Then why did the Warriors win last year? Explain
it. The whole league sucked.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that. Okay. See, you don't understand how two things could be true. Like, it's either A or B or black and white for you. They could ring chase in 2 years and then went back to being organic. That's not like that's possible.
That's not ring chasing compared to what
they ring chased for 2 years and then they had to go get it back out the mud. And they did that.
Was on one team and
everywhere LeBron goes, that nigga up the
he
team.
Created a team.
Who
beat the Warriors? What the fuck? That is ring chasing. What the Warriors did is not
ring chasing. And they got KD to solidify they run through the West and to beat LeBron.
Yeah, to solidify it, but I wouldn't say
ring chase. Because without KD on that team, it wasn't even a guarantee you made it back to the finals, let alone beat LeBron.
They still had a shot though.
After being down 3-1, you lost 3-1 to a nigga. Then went to go get a nigga. Y'all was down 3-1 to. That's ring chasing.
And let's give it a buck. If my nigga Chris Paul ain't get injured, the Rockets was gonna dub them. Or who got injured? Was it Chris Paul or was it James?
Right.
Yeah, it was Chris. It was Chris.
One of them.
And they nigga still got cheated. The nigga foot was all the way out of bounds, and they ain't call it fucking out of bounds. And then, bro, even then it was in question. So when I put Curry where he at, it's because Shaq fourth ring wasn't as respected, but throughout because he didn't. To me, it wasn't as expected because he only averaged like 12 points a game. But that whole season, he averaged 20 points. So they used him to get to the finals. I just figured he ran out of gas in the finals, and D Wade carried the rest of the momentum.
Hey, can you scroll down real quick? I just want to see the other players that's still at the bottom of that list.
So
I'm looking at the live, but I'm waiting for it to.
Dirk, obviously under.
Wait, Dirk got two? Only
one.
Two? Or was he got one?
One. D Wade.
D Wade got what, 3?
I just want to know where you would put the other players on the list.
D Wade.
I know you haven't watched them and shit, but I just want to know where you put them.
D Wade over LeBron. That nigga got a ring.
Right,
that nigga carried a ring with nothing but role players. With Udonis Haslem.
No, you got it, bro.
No, be real though. I'm being real. What happened to LeBron in 2004 happened to. Yeah. What happened to LeBron in 2007 happened to D Wade when he went to the finals against the Mavs.
That's what we doing now.
Can you just stop talking for a second? The Mavs was up 2-0 against D Wade. This nigga was just as likely. He was almost about to get swept by a Texas team as well. But he figured it out and ended up winning the championship. When people were like, oh, duh, the Spurs were supposed to sweep them. D Wade said, not me. Because let's be real. The Mavs was up 2-0 against the team that the Mavs was considered a better team. Come on, bro. Like, his one ring is crucial. That nigga had like 35 and what? He had like 35 and 8. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. And he carried.
He rigged that shit for
He carried. And LeBron rings he had D Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie, Kevin Love. Like, bro, when he get his rings, I'm not tripping because like Magic, he had a lot of stars on his team. So it's hard to make the argument. Bird had a lot of stars on his team. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Looking at Curry finals numbers and the rest of the team, he didn't have like that much help as niggas make it seem like. There wasn't no super team outside of KD shit. When Shaq had his rings, Kobe wasn't even going crazy like that. Like Tim Duncan,
Kobe wasn't going crazy like that.
I'm looking at this. Kobe's
what are you talking? What are you chatting about?
Kobe wasn't. It wasn't.
Kobe wasn't.
His first year. Like his first year, Kobe averaged how much in the finals?
He only 15.
Exactly. And his next year, he averaged 20 or 24.
24, and then 2020 and 2000 to 2001, it was 24 points. In 2001 to 2002, it was 26 points.
Okay. Now, I mean, I'm not saying.
And then went in 2003, 2004, he had, I don't know who was playing. Was he playing with Shaq still?
What year?
2004 was the last year, I think. That was when they had like Gary Payton and shit like that.
He had 22 that year. And, I guess they lost that one.
My only when I say when I gotta preference my statements when I say stuff. When I say that, I'm saying like Kobe wasn't just like. It was still questions around Kobe's greatness. His first and second year, people weren't just like, hey, Kobe's undoubtedly the best player in the league or anything like that. It was still things in the air. So it was like Shaq was carrying the team with a good co-star, but it wasn't like people thought Kobe could carry a team by himself is what I mean. Like he was a dude, he was that dude coming into it. I'm not saying he was a joke, but even outside of Kobe and Shaq, it wasn't too many other like dudes scoring that much points on that team. Tim Duncan, his last 2 years, dudes did step up, but his first 3 championships, like it was one. Ginobili had 18. Tony Parker was averaging like 12, like, and then we know with Jordan, it was him and Scottie, bro. So,
who do you give more credit for the Lakers rings, Shaq or Kobe?
The first 3, Shaq for sure.
I only got 3.
Well, Kobe got 5.
Oh, you say so? All Kobe's first 3 rings, you say that's more like a Shaq thing than a Kobe thing.
I mean,
it was a Kobe and Shaq thing.
It's a Kobe and Shaq thing, but Shaq was the leader. It was his team. Bro, he dropped 35 and 16.
Do you value like when these guys win their championships? Like who is actually the best player on that team?
Yeah, I do.
So if Kobe has 3, but he wasn't the best player, would I say
Exactly.
LeBron may be better than him?
You can make that argument.
Okay, I'm just asking questions.
So
Tim Duncan for sure.
I don't believe that one.
You said what?
Tim Duncan was always the best player on his team.
Yeah, that's
was he
what
better
I'm
than
saying.
David Robinson when he played?
Oh, I got you. Huh? Yeah, he was better than David. Yeah, he was better than David. They didn't even make the playoffs before they got him, and they still had David. So yeah, once he came in, he averaged more than him too. He averaged 20 points. David averaged like 18. Then after that, it wasn't even close. But no, that's a great argument. But so the same thing I said with LeBron, if he wins another ring, I have to like ease up off that bubble ring, especially on the Lakers. If he win another ring on the Lakers with AD, I might have to ease up off the bubble ring because
if he wins this year?
I'm definitely easing up off of it. I'm definitely easing up off the bubble ring.
Hypothetically, if he were to win this year out of all years, what
it probably will boost him to where him or Tim Duncan and Kobe, and obviously a lot Kareem up there. Because like I said, how I think, bro, like some things, like you kind of got off on certain ways. Like Kawhi, it's unproven if he really can lead a team because it's like. When you did lead a team, yeah, you beat the Sixers, but the Warriors was out, even though that was a fucking stacked Warriors team. So if he'd have won another championship, it's like, oh yeah, he's really that dude, and he can really do it. So I feel like the same with the bubble. If he was to win another ring with the Lakers, with pretty much AD being his co-star and it's just some role players, you got to salute to that. And it'll make me take the bubble ring more seriously because it's been proven outside of that. And then the reason I bring all that up, Kobe winning those 2 rings outside of Shaq, like at first, like, say if he won 1 ring or no rings, it would have been like, yeah, nah. But, yeah, the first year, he only dropped 15. He dropped 24, 26, which he was clearly the co-star. You clearly needed him to win. And maybe he could have did more. Maybe he could have did way better. But you don't know. But when you see him win them 2 championships without Shaq, you got to respect it. You got to respect those other 3. Like, that's how I looked at it.
Oh, my bad. What'd you say?
No, I just said that's just how I look at Kobe.
How many rings did Kevin Garnett win?
1.
Just 1?
Yeah, 1.
And it's under Dirk.
Who would you pick, Kevin Garnett or? Well, I say Dirk. But
like
KG or Dirk?
Yeah.
Dirk went to the finals 3 times.
I personally say KG.
2 times.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like defensively, KG was just so much better than Dirk, but I understand why people would put Dirk over KG.
What about KD? Or Dirk and Elijah won or whoever. How many rings KD got? 1 or 2? How many has he got? I don't know.
He got 3.
Oh, he has 3. Okay, so does he jump all the way up to tier 3?
Does he have 3? I'm tripping.
I think he has 2. He has 2.
He got 2.
Yeah,
so he'd be over Dirk and.
Nah, he'd be under. KD would be under. KD would probably be. How I'm going. I do not respect his rings.
Yeah, all right, I already know that.
It's an argument that KG shit was a little like they put a team together, but even then, I got to give respect to Celtics more respect.
KG only won when he had a system.
Dirk was him. Who was it? Him. And
KG was on the Wolves, didn't win shit. I'm just saying.
Who's that black dude he had on his team?
Same with KD on Brooklyn. Same with KD on OKC. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. But I mean, now if we talk about greatness, it just if we gonna say we don't really have as many championships to go off of with these bottom tier dudes, you right, because he has went to the Western Conference Finals multiple times. He did lead his team multiple times, so he technically would be over KG because he has shown he could lead a team by himself, and KG haven't.
Let me ask you this:
technically,
so LeBron
you're right.
Going 10 times in a row, you said that don't matter, but he goes 10 times in a row and he wins 5. Should he be over Kobe?
I don't care about him going 10 in a row. If he win, how many he win in a row? How many we give him in a row? So are you saying he win the Mavs one?
So the in the road thing is what?
So like say he win the Mavs and then he win against OKC, so he'll have a 2-peat. So he'll really have a 3-peat because he's supposed to beat the Spurs too.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a 3-peat and 1 ring.
Yeah, he did that. He'd be right there with Jordan. If he did that, he would have been right there with Jordan because I would excuse his 2004 ring.
But still, Kobe did.
Lost
and 1-2 though, so that would still
2007. I keep saying the wrong numbers.
Wouldn't that still put him behind Kobe then? Because Kobe had a 3-peat and won twice.
Well, no, my bad. I was speaking fast. I said if he would have beat the Mavs and the Spurs, so I gave him 2 more rings, so he would have had 6 all day instead of 5. Yeah. And it would have been 6 straight.
So if LeBron wins 7 rings,
no, it wouldn't have been 6 straight. Right? I'm tripping.
Oh my God, LeBron winning 7 rings.
If he has 7 rings, he's the GOAT. Like
I don't think that's happening, but
no, I'm not talking about now. Not moving forward. He's already 20 years in. His son's gonna probably get drafted. He's gonna leave.
Undoubtedly.
Saying, like,
if he does that,
if he beats the Mavs and the Spurs, like the people should have, and then Kyrie and Kevin Love don't get injured, and they beat the Warriors, so I'll give him 3 more. So those 7 would put him.
My only argument to the reason why he wouldn't be GOAT is the team he joined, and then and then him putting the team together with Kevin Love and Kyrie, and also being able to trade whoever he wanted to the team, essentially. So it's like he was able to.
A knock though? Like,
it's not a knock, but he clearly was ring chasing, and in my form, that's not organic.
I mean, it is about rings, right? Like, what?
No, I get it, but it seems a certain time. It comes off a different type of way when you jumping from team to team.
Do we know?
But I guess he wouldn't have jumped to the Cavs if he won with the Heat.
Kareem got to the Lakers. Was that a Magic Johnson like, hey, come here, or was that a Kareem like?
Nah, Kareem was there when Magic was a rookie.
Oh, so he was already there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. I thought he came after. Oh, he won them early with the Bucks. That was early. Like
and my thing, and the reason why is not only did you ring chase and just like put a decent team together, you put another like dude that would like won a championship before you. Like outside of media considering him better than you. Like no, the media wouldn't consider D Wade better than him by any means, but D Wade was that dude. You went to go get another like 20 plus point scorer. Then 2 of them, because Chris Bosh was a dog at the Raptors versus Jordan. I mean, it's Scottie Pippen, bro. That's it. And then everything else is role players. Like you can argue Scottie Pippen is an undoubtedly superstar. Yeah, Steve Kerr is definitely a role player. How many did he ever average more than 7 points a game? Oh, I'm about to say, you funny in the bitch for that.
I just know the name.
You funny as fuck. But yeah, I would look at him joining up with 2 other superstars in his era. Because we don't look at Chris Bosh as a superstar as time has passed. But when he was on that Raptors, he was a solidified star. Solidified. He was bringing the Raptors by himself and to the playoffs, and they like just wasn't shit since Vince Carter and T-Mac. Raptors had been trash. So he brought him from the Raptors in his prime, and the same with D-Wade. Versus Jordan, it's just working with an organically drafted team. Like,
so if KD wins number 4, it's still like you had to go to
KD win number 3.
Oh, this is the third one he wins?
If KD didn't win number 3, he'll be right there. I still wouldn't
join the team.
I still wouldn't respect it over Olajuwon 2-peat.
So he
what about Olajuwon? Do you look at Olajuwon shit like, and you lucky Jordan left type shit, or what?
Bro, he still had to go against Shaq. He still had to go against some dogs, bro. He still had to go against dogs. Like, he was that dude.
I'm just wondering because that was in the middle of the run, right? The Bulls having.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that was the only great team in that era. That's why it's hard to say that. Like, and then me seeing Olajuwon, I think he went to the finals before. He just lost. So it's like he had that potential to get there, and he did it.
I mean, you could say the only times he won was when Jordan wasn't there. I mean, you could make that argument.
Yeah, and I could argue that they probably would have beat them niggas too. Who the fuck on their team stopping Olajuwon?
I mean, well,
who the fuck on that team stopping Olajuwon?
Who would have known? Jordan wasn't there, right? He's the GOAT, right?
I mean, he the GOAT, but he ain't stopping Olajuwon.
I mean, he's the GOAT though. He should be able to make something work. You're a GOAT.
Possible. I'm not arguing that, but Olajuwon, I respect them 2 championships being back to back. If he would have just won 1 championship, yeah. When he went back to back,
that's why I was bringing up who were the shooting guards that Jordan faced. Like,
all right, let's look up shooting guards. And Jordan,
that was my whole point, because Olajuwon's the center, and you're telling me that what would Jordan do? I mean, what would he do? But he's a GOAT, right?
There's nothing he could do because it just
he should be able to do something.
No, by basketball logic, he wouldn't be able to do nothing. To stop Olajuwon, he could score. He could put up as many points as you want. He can run his system.
We lost to the Celtics twice in the damn finals.
You talking about Hakeem?
No, just the Rockets in general.
Oh.
They lost to Boston in 80-81 and 85-86.
Yeah, like what shooting guards were in that era, bro? It was literally just Jordan, bro.
I mean, you got Clyde Drexler.
Stop.
You got Reggie Miller.
Stop.
You niggas crazy.
Stop.
Just because they wasn't Jordan. Like,
this is what I'm looking at. Okay, so the top shooting guards of the 1990s. This is by some shit called A1 Sports. So you got Clyde Drexler, Mitch Richmond, Allen Iverson.
He was a bucket.
This goes through all the 20s,
bro.
I mean,
Mitch Richmond's a bucket.
Penny Hardaway,
bucket.
Sprewell,
bucket.
Reggie Miller,
bucket.
Jeff Hornacek,
bucket.
McGill,
what are we talking about? These are all great shooting guards.
Ron Harper.
Right.
They got Kobe at 12.
Really
Marcy Hawkins, Ray Allen, Tyrone Corbin.
None of these niggas is even top 30.
Well, I'm gonna lie. This is their ranking. So if you're gonna go the overall decade rank for these players for the 1990s, they got obviously Jordan's number 1. Clyde Drexler is number 14 out of every position. Mitch Richmond's number 22. AI, he didn't play against him, right?
Look at that drop off from Jordan to Clyde Drexler.
but let's be real. It wasn't. The problem with your argument is it wasn't a shooting guard dominant league. It was about the big man. So no team emphasis was having, like, some teams had great shooting guards, of course, but the emphasis was on having a better front court. And a lot of the offense a lot of offense is it's not an individual matchup in that era. Cause it's about getting to the basket. Like, most of that shit was in mid range or in the paint. So you gonna use your big men. That's why having big men was more important than having backcourt dudes. So when you talk about defense, it's not about the shooting guard. That's an irrelevant argument. It's a relevant argument.
Just for LeBron's sake, I want to read. So these are what they would say are the top small forwards for the 2000s. Obviously, LeBron James number 1, Tracy McGrady number 2, Paul Pierce number 3. Carmelo Anthony, number 4. Sean Marion, number 5.
Well, I would compare small forwards, not shooting guards.
That's what I'm saying. Some of them do shooting guards. That small forward list small.
Yeah.
Oh, this is I don't know. Paige Stojakovic, Karan Butler.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. What are we talking about?
Oh, you started from like the beginning of his career.
It says through the 2000s. So I'm sure like 2000 to 2010, I guess. They got like Rashard Lewis, Rudy Gay, Josh Howard. They've got Scottie Pippen.
And then we acting like small forwards can't hold shooting guards, like, and point guards can't hold shooting guards.
I mean, now, yeah.
Even back then, Gary Payton was holding Jordan. Like, there was point guards and small.
Gary Payton.
But there was many. That's not the only time that ever happened, bro. That's not the only time. Literally, Scottie Pippen used to hold shooting guards a lot of the time as well. Like, what are we talking about? And they still had Jordan on the court, and he was an all-time defender. Like, small forwards used to hold shooting guards all the time, bro.
Obviously, because they would switch off, but that's not the primary defender.
Bro, so my point is, small forwards, if they needed them to, they will hold the shooting guard. That's always been a thing, bro. That ain't just happened.
It'll be less times than not, bro.
That ain't just happened, bro.
I got to set up because my ass about to go live, so I got to talk about Mikey Williams, all these niggas, the old block niggas trying to kill
Lock
Bryce.
that nigga up, bro. Lock that nigga up.
Bryce, the old block niggas in TikTok saying, "Hey, you better not come to 63rd or 60 whatever." I'm telling you.
Why the fuck would I ever come to that ratchet ass place? That classless ass place.
Your head, Bryce. They said you better not come and stop studio talking because you would never say it to his face.
I wouldn't want to talk to you in your face.
I was like, they said they were saying stuff like you would never say if he was alive. I was like, I mean, if he was alive, obviously we wouldn't be talking about him being dead.
He'd be in jail. If he was alive, I don't respect him. Why would I talk to somebody I don't respect? Why would I care about looking a man in the eyes I don't respect? I'm not scared of them. I'm just smart enough to not to fuck with ignorance. Ain't nothing about scared. It's being smart. That's why you niggas got a small time.
It's a shame that y'all would disrespect the dead. People in the comments like, isn't that his like whole MO? King Von's whole MO? Like, what are y'all talking about?
That nigga was a serial killer, bro. Really, bro.
Bryce said, "Thank God." I was like, "Oh, I know this clip gonna be gold." I know it's gonna get 20,000 views on TikTok, but hey. Let it ride.
I need to get that back on my editing shit. I've been lazy as hell.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that shit, you might get like 3 duds and you might get one that just go to the moon and shit.
I've been having a lot of duds lately. That shit not motivating,
You should post that Michael Jackson shit on TikTok. I don't know if you did or not, but.
What Michael Jackson shit?
What I'm realizing is you got to put a shit on there that's going to create either elicit emotion from people or create conversation. And that King Von shit elicited a reaction.
I got to dig in the crates, bro.
Y'all motherfuckers actually start recording y'all shit.
I want to start live streaming, but
Flacco gave y'all the advice. He said, "Hey, I better just start putting out like your boy, like your homeboy do. What's his name? The Club Ambition. He got his podcast, but he also, when shit break, he be like, "Hey, this going on."
Yeah, that's true.
I know Elon ain't got you in there slaving all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna quit that hoe.
Yeah, don't say it on live. He better fire you. You know he watching. He hear everything. Every time his name pop up, AI send it to him.
That shit hilarious.
I'm trying to get a job with Chat GBT.
Nigga said
they based in Austin?
I don't know where they based, but I'm trying to be like a IT nigga, so I could probably do something in there.
All right, man, this was fun. I think, Bryce's list essentially is just, LeBron just don't have one more ring. That's really what it is. That's really all that other shit.
Basically, Bryce don't like LeBron.
He doesn't have a system and all that bullshit. Is like, he just needs one more ring and he'll be number 3.
But the reason I brought up the ring, I mean, a system, I'm not saying that's the reason I don't personally have him up there. I just think he would have more rings if he was able to play in like a triangle offense or another offense that's like a Spurs or something like that. Like he'll still be the team leader and still have points. It just wouldn't look the same.
Let me ask you this: by position, okay. So this is overall players, right? So for position players of all time, do you consider rings too? Like if I was gonna say who the top point guards are, I mean not point guards, shooting guards. Like I don't know. I'm just asking y'all niggas basketball niggas, right? So what I see people say is you would say obviously Jordan, Kobe, D Wade, and I see a lot of people say James Harden number 4. Is there any other shooting guards that have more rings than James Harden that you put over James Harden?
I mean, Harden doesn't have rings. So.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Clay,
does that
you put Clay over him?
Would you put Clay over James Harden?
I mean, if we're using the rings argument, I would have to, right? If it's the ring argument, then you'd have to put.
That's where I feel like a little tricky because, like, bro, you really gonna say Clay? Like, that's the thing about Clay and niggas like that. Like, I gotta see them niggas on their own team. That's why I don't go by that ring.
The reason
I
is
don't care about the ring shit that much. Like
the reason I get what you're saying. They're great individual players, but I'm talking about who's a better championship player. Would it be hard to say Clay's a better championship player than exactly put Clay on any put Clay on
like has more accolades, like individual accolades than Clay though. Like
and that don't lead to championships. Put Clay on any contender, and he's going to make them a championship contender. Just because of the spacing,
that's hard to say. We don't know that.
It's not hard to say.
You can't really tell though.
Just off of spacing and how he know how to move and work the floor alone, he's gonna put Clay on Miami Heat right now.
Don't you think there being another shooter like Steph on the floor kind of helps that? Because you say put him on the Miami Heat, it's like it's like Steph Curry.
But you still have Bam and you still have Hero that can still make and make plays. That's the point. They're gonna penetrate, they're gonna do these things. Clay gonna constantly back cut, he gonna pick, he gonna pop, and he gonna find his spots. Clay gonna find his spots on the court regardless. That's who he is as a player. When he's like a Reggie Miller, when he was on the court by himself, he's still gonna find his spots. Like he's not like Reggie Miller off the dribble or anything like that. But how Reggie Miller could find his spots off the ball. So
you say Clay is better than AI.
I'm taking as a championship. Yeah, I'm taking Clay over AI any day.
Nah, I'm taking AI over Clay. I don't know about that.
I'm taking Clay.
And then the AI with an MVP too.
Yeah,
that's cool. But the MVP he got washed.
And AI made a finals.
Put AI with Clay. Put AI with Clay.
So did you take Derek Fisher over Russell Westbrook?
No. Why would I do that?
He got more rings.
Derek Fisher got
averaging 7 points a game.
He got more rings.
Averaging 7 points a game.
He got more rings.
He got way more rings, really.
He got way more rings.
Averaging 7 points a game. Like if we're gonna bring the rings, we gotta.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Would you take Kyle Lowry over Russell?
No.
Why? He got more rings.
Lowry got a ring.
He was a big part of the rings, right?
Yeah, and I mean everybody on that team was hurt that they played against.
Oh my God!
Hey, he got the
it's
ring.
always an excuse.
Championship medal.
Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
How much points he averaged that game?
25.
In the finals.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Oh, give it to him.
I'm just talking shit.
I was about to say, give it to him. Then shit, he averaged 25. I was like, give it to him. I don't think he averaged like 15 or something like that. But with point guards, so
let me ask you this: would you put Scottie Pippen over LeBron? Since I see you moving him around, he got 6.
He got 6.
Like why is
but
Scotty? Let me ask you, why is Scotty not over Tim Duncan or Shaq or Steph? Or is it just because Jordan's so great? Or what's up with Scottie Pippen? He's not Robert Horry. He's not Robert Horry.
Yeah, he's not Robert Horry, but he's not. He's not. He
got 6.
He wasn't the A of this team either.
Championship player, top player.
No, he definitely a championship player.
Because think about this. Think about what you said. I know Kobe went and did his own with those 2. But those 6, you could say that he was very instrumental in helping Jordan get those 6. So you would say if Shaq was the reason Kobe got them 3, then Kobe really only got 2. So then you'd have to Pippen's 6 would have to surpass Kobe's 2.
No, I mean Kobe still got 5.
That's true.
Kobe was still at worst. Kobe was the Scottie Pippen on those 3. So it'd be hard to say that. Then Kobe got 2 by himself as the leader. So that'd be hard to say.
You still have to put Pippen over what? Steph Curry?
That's a good argument.
Really only got 3. Shaq really only got 3. You said the 4th one don't count, so he really got 6. So those 3 would at least. But
the only one, the Shaq one, bro, having a 3-peat, being the dominant, it's close. But I would keep him where he at. The only argument is the Curry one because Curry technically was the 2 for 2 championships.
So by that logic, the Scottie Pippen is better than LeBron James.
Those 3s all the time. We ain't doing that, bro.
Only reason Scottie Pippen is hard to say because it's like, what did he do? What could he do if he was the number 1 dude?
Didn't he make it didn't they have the best record in the NBA? Do you have to Michael left?
Yeah, but they didn't do shit in the playoffs. Yeah, and a lot of times when he was supposed to step up, a lot of times when Jordan needed him to step up, he wilted too. Like, I'm not saying all the time, obviously they got 6 championships, but a lot of times when the pressure was on him, he kind of folded. I feel like I get Paul George vibes from Scottie Pippen if he was like the A.
There's another one because the rings is the thing. Kevin Garnett got 1 ring. Would you say that Draymond Green is a better player than, or I guess you championship, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take a Draymond.
I'll take a Draymond over Kevin Garnett.
I'll take a Draymond. That boy Draymond had 35, 14, and 8 in the finals. Boy, what are we talking about?
In one game though.
Hey, championship ready, boy.
This nigga right here.
Draymond over Kevin.
So if we just say best players, you wouldn't take James Harden over. You wouldn't take Clay over James Harden. We're just something like just a player who's like, damn, this motherfucker really good at basketball, like championships, whatever. Like niggas being second best. On their team, whatever. Like,
it's weird,
being
bro.
the best player on your team in producing is a lot. Like that to me that weighs a lot.
So there's the thing that came to my mind. It's a great. You asked a great question, but the thing coming to my mind is you can be great at the playground version of basketball. Where it's like obviously he could take over, do whatever, or it's like who can actually play on a fundamental team and be put in anywhere. For instance, James Harden on the Sixers look a lot different than the James Harden on the Rockets. Why? Because now he got to play within a team. Now he got to play with other players. So let's say Clay, outside of him, he dropped 30 a game. Like it's more reasonable for Clay to go up than down because even Miles Bridges. Nobody assumed Miles Bridges would do what he did on the Nets, just like nobody assumed James Harden would do what he did on the Rockets when he got traded to him. Because he didn't never average 30 points a game, but then he get off that team and he do more.
Oh, just because I guess when you by yourself as Clay, you have to become a playmaker, right? So if you drop Clay,
not even a playmaker,
organization, do you think that where do they go with just Clay? What James Harden was able to do. Do you think that Clay could do the same thing?
If Clay went to that team right now, it'd be hard because it's a lot of.
They're obviously. No, I'm talking about like with James Harden, the team James Harden's had, even before like Chris Paul came.
Mike D'Antoni probably wouldn't have been the.
You can leave Chris Paul and you can leave Russell Westbrook. Do you?
No, yeah, that would have been great. That'd have been great.
Make runs to the Western Conference Finals with just Clay.
They would have needed a point guard, which they had Chris Paul. So that would have been good because they were shooting. They were shooting just as many threes.